You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 99, 10 Toes.
Chicago.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that's feeling a bit oozy. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
And I'm just the party dude.
Yeah,
Raven Perez.
He's got a lot of energy, that Raven Perez. He's a total Mikey. He's definitely the Mikey of the group. Personally, I do machines.
That would Craig. Does that leave you just Donnie or wait? Does that leave you as Ref or Leo?
Craig's responsible, so he's definitely the Leo of this troop.
He is, dude. He is a Leo.
Unfun guy. That's what you're basically saying. Cool. All right. That's cool. Whatever. Sure. I'll play this little game.
Guys, I think we got one shell of an episode.
Grown.
But, like, no joke. This is some beefy fucking... This is going to be a beefy boy. This is going to be a lot.
A lot to get through. We have a lot of things to talk about. But before we even get started, because, again, this is going to be what is probably more than likely going to be our final Ninja Turtles focused episode. We had intended to do the Ninja Turtle issues as they came out with the Savage Dragon issues, but things happen the way they do, and we got behind because Savage Dragon got behind, and so we've decided to do these catch-up episodes instead. It's not ideal, but we're gonna get through them. These matter.
I'm excited about this episode because this wraps up the Urban Legends with the 3 final issues, which is all brand new stuff.
Right.
And for old heads like me that collected it originally, this is all new to me. Plus, I think we're going to talk about the 30th anniversary special from IDW for Ninja Turtles, which had like a 7-page quick story that focused on the Volume 3 series. And we're going to talk about the fan-made conclusions before Urban Legends came out, which, fans just wanted to conclude the series and made their own couple of issues, which are pretty neat to kind of look at. So we've got, definitely, like you said, we got a lot to talk about, but it's real exciting, I think. I had a lot of fun with this, and it was fun talking to you guys about this who hadn't experienced it the first time.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree. Like, guys, I couldn't have asked for a better reading experience on this Turtles run because, not going to lie, I might not have made it all the way through. And now I fucking love it, and I'm super duper fucking happy. And it was just awesome getting to, have these deep dives with you guys because it really, sort of flipped the script on how I was thinking of this series. So, very good. This is going to be a good-ass show.
Cool. I think we should jump right into it then to keep it moving. We'll start off with some news.
Yes, please.
So, Savage Dragon 252 sold out, and we're going to be getting a second printing. So
for those keeping track at home, that's 2 sellouts in 3 issues.
Yes,
pretty awesome. It's good to hear that stuff with Savage Dragon.
Yeah, dude.
So we're getting a new cover. This is 252 is the experimental issue with the Sunday Funnies. The cover is throwback to a Peanuts kind of collection cover. So it's an all red cover.
Apparently, it's an older collected edition. It looks pretty
like
much
a little paperback.
Yeah, a little paperback. A lot of people had when they were kids, I guess.
Yep.
It looks very similar to the cover. In fact, I gotta say this new cover is very cool, but I think it looks a little bit too close to the original, in my opinion. Yeah.
So basically, it's got a Charlie Brown and Lucy looking characters that are kind of like the Dragon Kids.
Well,
it says in huge letters, "Good grief, Savage Dragon," which
so I guess
it's really old school.
I guess it's supposed to be Amy and Jack.
Yeah,
I don't think it really. I think it's like fins on Peanuts.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Pretty much.
Although I don't think Lucy has freckles like that.
Right. It's kind of simple, but if you'd seen the cover, you could tell immediately it's a throwback.
I will say it's worth looking up that cover. I think it will make you appreciate the variant more.
Right. I think the big story on this news article is that it's going to a second printing, which is pretty exciting that people took notice.
Oh yeah,
which doesn't always happen with Savage Dragon, and I really think that Erik busted his ass on this and did such a good job that it deserves the recognition. So
I was really worried
stuff.
about this issue when certain news websites accidentally spoiled 80% of this issue like a month before it came out, even before issue 251 had come out.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, but it just seemed to fly under the radar. Thank God, dude. I would have been so
I
heartbroken.
think people that aren't familiar with it probably didn't realize that a lot of the issue was spoiled either. It's hard to tell unless you're in the know.
True.
So who knows? But I think we should move on to the next item since we got a lot to cover.
Got to keep it brisk, this one.
Well, the other bit of news is that Erik announced a new alternate cover for issue 253. In the tradition of his other election year covers, Erik has put out a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, I endorse cover with Malcolm Dragon endorsing the Democratic candidates for president and vice president. It's an okay cover. It's fine.
It's super similar to the Obama cover.
Very
basically
similar.
Just posing together.
It's personally nothing that I'm going to go out of my way to get. And, of course, the internet melted down over it because...
Oh, tears.
The crocodile tears were amazing. Worth it for that alone.
It's hard to say how many fans that have never read Savage Dragon that will now never read Savage Dragon over this cover.
Apparently he said that cover was... I think he just posted today that the cover sold, or at least got more orders than the normal cover.
Huh.
Okay.
So he also announced it fairly late. I think, Raven, you had told me before this episode started that orders for 253 cutoff had already come and gone.
Yeah, I contacted my shop. He told me a day too late, and he said, "Don't worry, we know you wanted it. We got extras." But it's too late now. They're sold out, I guess, or back ordered. They're back ordered.
Right. So you got to back order it if you want to get it, and you won't necessarily get it on release day if you missed the boat.
Hey, man, feelings on it? I think he nailed the likenesses. He got Joe better than Kamala.
Yeah.
But Kamala's kind of like, whatevs. But I think they're both good. There was a slight addendum to this. Eagle Eye Mark Welser said that the anatomy was adjusted. I didn't notice it. Whatever. Not important. I'm just saying that think about the implications if Joe loses, it'll be kind of a historic cover just for fun, just to have around. But if Joe wins, it'll be like Savage Dragon. Who said? I'm stealing someone's comment, but Erik Larson, the Kingmaker.
Well, it's true. Erik hasn't been wrong yet.
Give it time. George Bush did get bushwhacked.
It's funny, he didn't do one for Hillary.
Nope, he didn't.
Nope. Didn't endorse
That's
him.
how you know this is important to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a pivotal moment. Yeah. It's a pivotal moment in our country's history. I think we got to move along, though. This is just a packed-ass show.
I'm excited for this next news story. I can't wait for this. Go kick this one off. I can't wait. The cover's amazing.
Absolutely. So, as we know, Erik Larson, best covers in the biz, dropped the new hotness on us with 256's cover. And guys, it's delicious. Let me paint you a word picture so that your mind theater has a masterpiece, a cinematic masterpiece. Essentially, we have a very awesome rendering of Malcolm. It's kind of a cool style that Erik's using. It's from the perspective of inside a mouth. And you just see rows of jagged teeth enclosing him. And we get word balloons on the cover, which I love. Because you're letting Farron Delgado shine right on that cover. And he's saying, you're supposed to be dead. So good, dudes. So, fuck yeah. And immediately everyone screamed Mako. But I got to say, I heard some pretty interesting alternate theories out there.
I got an alternate theory.
Yeah, lay it on us.
It's Basilisk's dick.
That's the theory.
It had a very toothy mouth in this configuration, more so than Mako.
That's the interesting thing. I thought it was actually your take that I was like, whoa, dude. I was like, I never would have thought of Basilisk's cock. Never. But then keeping it rolling, you know, when we say Mako, like, it could be, is this Paul Dragon Mako?
Right.
Is this regular Mako? Our own FINcast's Craig Olson did a pretty sweet Photoshop job. What if this is Open Face, a clone?
No, first of all, I didn't say it's Open Face. I doubt it's Open Face.
Yeah,
Somebody else did.
He did a bad edit to show what Open Face might look like on the cover, which is the sideways.
Right. But what
bad
if Open
edit?
Face
You couldn't even just say edit. You had to add bad edit in. Jeez.
Wait, did I say bad edit?
You did. I thought it was a good edit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought
I
said bad edit.
I'm sorry. I thought out loud.
He said the quiet part loud and the
Wow,
loud
man.
part quiet. I thought it was a good edit.
I guess
is
I
what's
meant
funny.
to say dirty. Quick and
Sure.
dirty.
Okay,
edit.
we're gonna move on. No.
Yeah, hurtful.
I think it's Mako. I think it's Mako from Paul Dragon's universe because he was a good guy there, and I think that's a great way to bring back an awesome character that people love.
Mm-hmm.
And Mako, in the original series, if you guys remember, was a good guy for a few issues, and it was fun. I think this could be fun. If it's not, I won't be disappointed. If it is, I'd be happy too. But
Guys, there is yet another. There is yet another candidate we have not listed.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
You know who I'm going to say.
Yep.
It's goddamn Shart. The Shark
Yeah.
Dart baby.
But Shart's not dead. It has not been dead.
But
that's
Malcolm
true.
doesn't
Yeah, but
know
if-
that.
Yeah, and if she changes to a
Whoa,
shark, maybe.
wait a minute.
No,
Wait.
no, not Shart. No,
Oh,
no.
the baby, right?
The baby, dude. The baby.
Wait, he doesn't. I don't think he knows anything about Barry Dragon's baby child.
I don't know how to make the word balloon make sense, but dude, I'm just saying
Unless
there's
the
more
baby
than
looks like Mako, it suddenly
well,
grows huge.
Well,
Right.
the baby does look like Mako in the one picture we see. He's got a very large mouth.
So I'm just saying there could be a few characters. It's so funny that there could be a few characters
Yeah, but
that could be.
those characters don't make any sense with the "you're dead" part.
Yeah.
Mako makes sense. Basilisk Dick makes sense because they're both dead.
Mhm.
Open Face makes more sense than Shart or Battle Dragon's kid. Not Battle Dragon. Yeah, Battle Dragon.
Good memory.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It could be anything. I know. No, wait, that was Shart. Never mind.
Moving right along. Any rate, hype level immediately upon seeing that cover, I screamed yes and threw a punch at my coworker.
His covers have been fire lately. The primary colors and just the stark contrasts. I love them.
The angles, the cool camera work angles, and mystery too. Like the Empty Grave cover, it's like what's going on? Like who's Empty Grave? Or like this cover, you're supposed to be dead. It immediately draws you in, guys.
Oh, it could
that's
be
what a cover's supposed to do.
It could be Virus. I think Virus had teeth like that too.
Oh,
I
Jim,
hope
you're
not.
blowing my mind.
I hope not.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's not Virus.
Hurts my head.
Plus,
Now I love it,
I'm
and I
pretty
hope it is
sure
Virus.
Virus got dumped into a sun, so I think he's out.
Yeah.
No, that would make sense with the Your Deadline though.
Yep. You never
Dude,
know.
What if it's a virus from another dimension? And really, Craig's head explodes.
What if it's my dream and it's the real Mako, but he's stitched together with Cadaver's thread?
Yes, Jim. Yes, yes. Dream big, dude. You know that's not happening.
What if
but
it's
dream
that
it.
little? Is that World Muncher from Dimension X? He's got flat
The
teeth,
Awesome
right?
Eater?
The Awesome Eater. You knew his name. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
That's Awesome Eater.
Who's got teeth? Get the list.
Who's got shark teeth?
My Grammy don't.
That was unexpected, and I loved it.
My grandmother's dead.
Oh, that was even more unexpected, but I did not love it. I didn't.
Maybe it's a tiny cave, and these are just stalactites and stalagmites, and then
Well, if you're going to say that, then I'm going to bring my someone's throwing Cool Ranch Doritos out of
yes,
they're coming. It's good, dude. It's a good cover. It gets you thinking.
It's a cave, and it's that guy that was in during the Spawn issues. What was his name?
the elder, the
chosen
No.
one.
the chosen elder.
Remember, we ribbed on him for not being particularly memorable.
Yeah, it was
The
all
mighty-
built
the
up.
mighty
and then-
one.
Yeah,
The
all
mighty
built up, and then
He died in a cave.
Yep. But
Like
maybe he
Osama
didn't
bin
die.
Laden.
He's alive.
Like
And
Osama
Malcolm
bin
is-
Laden.
Malcolm's staring into his stalactite cave.
I think if it's Basilisk Dick, I don't even know what to think, guys.
And we're looking out from the inside of Basilisk Dick.
Right. Think about that. That will be probably the first time that you, the reader, have been shoved into a urethra to view a hero. I can't think of
Speak for
another comic.
yourself.
Okay. What comic?
No, I'm talking about being shoved into a urethra.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Was this some Anton Drek joint you're dropping on me?
I'm just talking real life here, buddy.
Oh, all right. I think we're getting way too silly. We need to end the news.
Yeah, let's go.
Fake
we got
news.
a lot. We got a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot, dudes. Listen, I just want to say we got a lot of letters, and thank you, dear sweet listeners, for participating because, man, it feels good. Well, awesome news section. Tell you what, why don't we jump into some letters? We appreciate hearing from you, Finheads. It's super awesome. And, man, we got some loquacious listeners, if I do say so myself. Starting with our very own legendary letter hack. None other than Sotiris Gravis, who writes, Dear FINcast crew, hey dudes, given the homage to comic strips in Savage Dragon number 252, one listener suggested that you guys should check out Daniel Close's Ice Haven. I recommend similar comic strip formats by the way of Erik's Herculean one-shot, as well as Close's graphic novel Wilson. While both cartoonists enjoy deviating from the distinctive drawing styles in favor of something more cartoony, there are many more comparisons to be made. Apart from the similar way they part their hair. Eat your heart out, Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta. They both suffered from a more lamentable loss in the form of lost original art due to fire. Tragically, Erik's house burnt down, but had the pleasure of museum retrospectives of their work. With regard to writing, both are as adept at humor and satire as they are serious subject matter, with a proficiency for dialogue that gives voice to outsiders, outcasts with a preoccupation for sex. Now, as for the most glaring differences, Erik Larson never shows anyone smoking in Savage Dragon, whereas Daniel Close's Death Ray, a teenage boy acquires superpowers from smoking cigarettes. It's worth noting that Donald Trump has a heat ray that he wants to use on the Democrats. And VP Mike Pence actually thinks smoking doesn't kill you. All this is as much of America as a hellscape of wildfires. Too timely. Too timely. Hashtag too timely. If Maxine always had a cigarette after sex, she'd already have stage 4 cancer by now.
It's true.
The most devastating difference that separates these two artists is that Close had 3 stories turned into movies, whereas most Fin addicts know they'll probably never see Savage Dragon get the Hollywood treatment. Cue sad trombone sound effect. That said, Close doesn't have you guys. Suck it, Close. Anyway, look forward to your special 100th episode. Sincerely, Sotiris Gravis.
This is my favorite part right here.
P.S. I like to pronounce close the same way you do, but it actually sounds like house. Guess I should have said something in the beginning. Wouldn't have hurt. Wouldn't have hurt. So I don't wear clothes around the house. I wear clouds around the hose. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're getting at?
I have no idea what he's saying in this whole letter.
It sounds like the surname is pronounced Klaus.
Yeah, that's it. Daniel Klaus. I don't like it. I don't like Klaus. My American blood boils at the sound of the name Klaus. I don't like it.
I think of like Klaus, like Klaus.
Yeah, like Klaus.
I am Sven, you are Klaus.
Daniel Klaus. He's merely contrasting and comparing Erik and Klaus. That's all. The listener suggested that we check out Klaus, and he recommended other strips, and then he decided to just do a little. I appreciate it. I appreciate this letter because there was clearly a lot of thought put into it. And, jokes aside, it's always great to hear from you, big guy. We love you, Sotiris.
We appreciate you, Sotiris.
Do your thing. Moving. Right. allow me to exit the stage. I'm going to exit this letter as Satyrus. Now, if I may, exit the stage so that another jubilant jotter of... I'm done. No more. I can't. I got to stop. Jim, take it away.
All right, we got a letter coming in. Says, all right, still relevant with the new issue. Thought you guys could still use it. I guess this is the letter that was written a while back. He decided to send again. Here it is, boys. My funnies comic strip suggestions for Savage Dragon 252. Scary Gary with Glum as the Green Monster. Garfield, somehow, someway. Overboard with the Atlantean. Sherman's Lagoon featuring Mako. Foxtrot, just do it.
It got done.
They did it, yeah. Born Loser featuring Dung. Frank and Ernest, can't be done, but a great strip. Family Circus, I agree with you, Craig. Blondie,
it got done.
What'd I say?
Who remembers? Blondie could be a cool style. Tintin or Asterix, God Squad, and the Asterix art style baby. Those are not comic strips, but I would appreciate seeing Tintin repped at some point. Keep the FINcast going. The humor has been on point lately, and this is from Tony M.
Lately? It's on point every episode, right?
And he says, P.S. When are you guys doing Super Patriot, Liberty, and Justice? Well, yeah, that'll come when it comes, because we got to get to it chronologically with the retro reviews, which are a little bit behind right now, but we hope to resume fairly soon.
It's always good when the retro reviews are behind, because it means that the regular issues are flowing.
We got stuff. We got stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, retros are fillers, but we love them. We'll get it.
Our own FINcast hosted a Garfield.
Yeah.
Since Erik didn't do it,
It's funny, like I like actually that this letter got used late because it allows us to compare and contrast Tony's guesses with what happened, right? So like we got a Blondie, we got a Family Circus, we got a Foxtrot. I did a Garfield. Yeah.
Where can people see your Garfield strip?
On the Facebook group. There's we do a spoiler thread every month. If you are a listener and not a reader, please check it out. It's fun talking with other Finheads. But
at the Erik Larson Savage Dragon fan page on Facebook.
Yep.
Or send us a Twitter. I can always post it on the Twitter.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought you did a good job with that.
Thanks, bro.
It's pretty difficult to do with Garfield and
it
what
was
you had to work with.
It was a nightmare. I started doing it and immediately realized I was like, goddamn, this is hard. And somebody yelled at me.
Doing this instead of my own webcomic.
Somebody yelled at me for using 4 panels, and I realized they're right, dude. Garfield has 3.
Yeah, you failed on many points of actually emulating the style that you were trying, but it was still excellent.
Jim just swooping right in to shit on Raven.
Hey.
Bad edit.
You failed pretty much the whole way through, but
the whole exercise D-.
It only ever has 3 panels?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that comic.
It doesn't fuck around with 4.
And everything is on one single plane.
Yeah,
Why would you constrain yourself like that?
And Jim, do you know, I super seriously, as I drew that other, like, that 4th panel where, like, Garfield is in the background and, like, they're in the foreground, I realized, I was like, oh, this just looks so wrong. I was like, there's never perspective in Garfield.
Ever.
Everyone is standing like they are up against a fucking wall.
You should have just drawn one panel and then copy pasted everything for the rest.
Yeah, I failed. I really did fail. Like after I looked at it, it was funny because somebody was like, "This should be used. This is good," and I was like, "Thank you," but in my head I was thinking, "But I see all the problems." Like
thank you, but this is shit.
I flunked the assignment,
and it just shows you how challenging it is.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
hard,
and how incredibly Erik aced it.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't have a trained eye, you don't know. Like I had no idea it's not ever more than 3 panels. Like if you're not really studying this stuff, you can screw it up.
And that's why, again, like I did this real quick before the issue, and then after the issue hit, like I was like thankful that it didn't get used or anything because it was like, dude, it would have looked so bad compared to like Erik just nailed every one of those things he did. And, like, then you would have had my shit, like, looking like Garfield wrong, you know? I was like, dude, I'm glad. It can just be a free internet thing. Like, I don't give a fuck.
What did you end up calling it?
Barfield.
Right, you should have done Barfield without Barfield as an edit.
Yeah, except Barfield literally vomits on Malcolm, so how would that look? Like, that would be weird.
If your comment can't pass the Barfield without Barfield test, it's also a failure.
Yeah, it is a failure on many levels. It is my ugly baby, and I do not love it.
So, gentlemen, should we do our next segment?
I think we should do our segment that perhaps in a different edit of this FINcast was done incorrectly early. But I think it's a very FINteresting thought you just had, Gregory. A very FINteresting conversation.
It's a nice little segue to our FINteresting Conversations, where we come up with a topic to discuss and maybe debate and ask you, the listener, to provide input. You can send us an email at savagefincast@gmail.com or PM us at the FINcast Facebook page. However you want to get a hold of us, just do it. So last, I don't remember which episode, but last time we did a FINteresting Conversations, we asked about issue 250, and our question was, when you flipped the page and saw Savage Dragon on the Paul Dragon on the last page of issue 250, what were your initial thoughts? And we got a decent amount of feedback on that. So, Raven, why don't you take it away with the first one?
Thank you, good sir. I think that was a really good, FINteresting conversation topic, just because, again, that was such a punch in the face, kick in the dick, like, shocker. So, awesome, FINteresting topic. Here comes our first response. I thought it was a fun way to bring back Savage Dragon without bringing back the one from the ongoing. Hopefully, this will help segue into the whole Angel's mom's hand coming out of the grave thing from way back. And that was from Dakota Darf Fitzgerald, who is one of our more recent Savage Dragon fans. Only been into it like for 2 or 3 years, but has told me, over Twitter many times, fucking loves the fan group, loves the fandom, loves like interacting, the FINcast and all that. So thank you so much, Dakota.
I like his nickname. I want my nickname to be Darf.
She. At any rate, I think Jim's got the next one.
Let's see here. Okay. My thought when I turned that page was, are you fucking kidding me? What is this? Why are we doing this? The Fin is kind of fucked up. I wasn't into it, but was riding the wave of 250 good feelings, and the rest of the issue was great, etc. It felt like a really lame way to bring Dragon back in. But then I thought, Erik's got something in mind, he'll make it work. And so far, Paul Dragon is different enough in experience and in personality that I'm up for seeing where this leads the book. There's a whole other reality out there for us to learn about. And this is from Raymond Cummings.
I like that perspective. I like the person who wasn't feeling it. And then, like, the more they were into it, they were like, you know what? I'm coming around.
All right, let's go to the next one. I got, when I flipped the page, I thought, hell yeah. And Erik has done it again. I know some people are done with Dragon and are glad he's gone, but isn't that like being a Christian and being done with Jesus? Keep up the good work, guys. This is from Mike Makuch. I think that's how you say his name.
Good enough.
Yeah,
we're all friends here.
Sounds about right, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We're all friends here. Mike, we apologize. Next time, give us a Daniel Klaus style phonetic breakdown, and we won't butcher it.
Dragon has died, dragon has risen, dragon will come again.
Erik has done it again! Yeah, I like that take too. I think I'm going to wrap it up with our final FINteresting Conversation reaction. I thought about Dragon getting a second chance to be a grandfather. Being a grandfather was on his mind right before he exploded in 225, says friend of the show, Brian Henney. Yeah, that's funny, right? Yeah, like this is now Paul gets a chance to he shouldn't have died skinny. He gets a chance to be Buff Dragon, sexy Buff Dragon, who knocks the bottom out of Alex just to tell her he doesn't really even know her. and be loving to his grandkids. So yeah, Paul's just getting to spin those wheels.
I'm stoked to see where Erik goes with this.
Yes, yeah, it's incredibly awesome, I think. Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you everybody for playing along. Thank you for your feedback. We love hearing from you, and please reach out to us for our next FINteresting conversation. Gentlemen, are you ready for a new FINteresting topic?
I'm ready, dude.
Sure.
Bring it on.
Why not?
Are you ready to have your minds completely rocked all the way to the core? Well, here goes. What other property would you like to see Erik give the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Urban Legends approach, where he oversees it, and it has ties to the Highbrow universe? So let's hear from you.
No, I was going to say, so just to clarify, this is giving something like the Ninja Turtles the same treatment as the Ninja Turtles did.
Essentially, yeah, for those who...
third-party property brought into
Correct.
the Erik Larson, Savage Dragon, Highbrow fold.
Right, not necessarily Erik doing it, because as we know, Gary and Frank did Urban Legends, but, you know, Erik was highly involved, and obviously any Dragon fan feels his presence on these books. It was very much Gary and Frank's baby, but at the same time, like, you can also, you can't... Yeah, you
had to go through Erik, I think, right? I mean, it had to pass the sniff test with Erik. He was the kind of the producer.
Right. And essentially that's what the question is. It's just saying, hey, guys, you know, Erik's too busy. He's making Savage Dragon. But someone of your choosing throws him another third-party property, and he does it. So you can even get, like, as into this FINteresting convo as you want. Like, you can give me a creative team, or you can just give me just an IP that you want to see him sort of toss at the Highbrow universe, a la Ninja Turtles Urban Legends. So, please, I've said way too much. Take it away.
I don't know.
All right, I guess I'll go first.
Craig, take it away.
Love and Rockets. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? What?
I gotta say, it's Erik. So why don't we go with a Kirby property and say Captain Victory, one he was trying to do way back when and didn't really get it off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He could draw it; would be cool. If he can't draw it, let's pull in someone like Tom Sholey or Michel Fife or someone like that.
I'm going to say can't. Let's put the stipulation that he cannot draw it. It's got to be like Urban Legends was, where someone else
Let's
is
just
doing
go with Sholey. He can write and draw it, and he could just
that's good.
blow your mind.
Oh, that's good.
Captain
but it's Highbrow related, so in what way is Captain Victory? You got to help me a little bit. Make this a little more FINteresting.
He can bump into Vanguard. He can bump into any of the space characters. Mother Mayhem. He can bump into. It doesn't. It could be anything.
Why space characters? I don't know anything about Captain Victory.
He's a space character.
He is a space character, so he's not a Captain America type.
No.
That's a twist. I would have thought
Captain
he was.
Victory and the Galactic Rangers.
Oh.
He's from Pacific Comics, kind of the same time as Destroyer Duck and Silver Star. He's got a dog guy and a lion guy that are like on his team. Is like mates on his ship. It's an interesting property. It's really cool.
Nice. Jim.
Raven, are you stalling as well?
Oh, and
No,
Captain Victory is unofficially kind of tied in with the New Gods, like hint, hint, wink, wink kind of thing, which makes it fun.
Okay, so you would also get like some sweet Godtown style interaction, right?
Yeah,
With like Hercules and like all those
you
guys.
can do whatever, go anywhere with it. It's such a fun comic.
And you're gonna give it to Tom Sholey.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's fucking. I'm down with that, dude. I'm down with that. Very down with
For
that.
the listeners, if you don't know Captain Victory, just Google it. It's towards the end of Kirby's kind of comics career, so some of the later issues get a little wonky, but man, I don't know. It's fun. The characters are fun. It's worth a look through.
This
That's
is
what it looks like.
this is really challenging for me because I'm really particular about these kind of things. Because I overthink it like crazy. Like I want to think like, what can fit? What makes sense in this context? Like you can't pick something like, I don't know, like ElfQuest. That's like so divorced from like contemporary times or Earth for that matter.
But dude, here's the thing: is that I'm not gonna, dear listeners, I'm not gonna restrict you in the way Jim's restricting himself, because I get where you're coming from, Jim. Like, you don't want fucking ElfQuest riding wolf through the streets of Chicago.
It doesn't make any sense for either property.
But I would love it. If someone has an idea with a creative team that they think would make that work, then by God, throw it out there as your choice. But I get it, no ElfQuest for you. I'm going to say my choice, dude. Are you ready? It's not really particularly daring, but I think it would fucking sing. And I'm sorry, it's also not particularly clever, but like I think that Craig, yours was more clever. But dude, I would love to see Erik give the Urban Legends treatment to Youngblood.
Okay.
He did such a good job on Supreme.
Yeah.
And I think that probably a little bit of friction happened there because he wasn't maybe able to like see it through. So if he was a little bit more of like, Urban Legends sniff test where he was just sort of giving the okay to what was being done. But I would love to see a Youngblood book that was way deep into like highbrow territory. Just have Youngblood button heads with the SOS all the time because they're both government teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Just have Youngblood, just fucking stepping on people's toes because, like, they're celebrities. Like, I would love to see Erik's take on, I think there's comedic things that he could do because he's, like, funny. But, again, Erik's not doing this, so what creative team would I have? If it's going to be a Youngblood book, I want, of my choice, if I'm just fucking doing this, however, again, Craig, I'm going to copy you. I'm going to get a writer-artist combo. I'm going to do that Daniel Warren Johnson that did Murder Falcon.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, and he's
for Youngblood.
Yeah, for Youngblood,
That's
because
certainly
dude,
a choice.
oh, he is a goddamn demon. He can do anything. The thing is if you haven't looked up his Twitter feed, the man can fucking do anything.
Oh,
and
sure.
so I would love to see his big fucking crazy action on a Youngblood book with like SOS characters and like, Universo and just fucking Glum and just all that shit. And again, Erik's just there to just be like, nah, that wouldn't happen. Oh, yeah. No, that's good. Just kind of like that. So that's my pick. That's my Urban Legends highbrow. I think that like Youngblood fits really well, obviously, because it had a past.
Yeah.
With Image.
Most of Liefeld characters would work pretty good.
Right. And that's why I did it. Jim, it's funny that you should bring up, like I was criticizing it. Listeners, I originally was going to do Bone, okay? Because I thought it would be fucking crazy as shit. And I was like, yeah, man. I wonder what, like, if Erik was in...
Do you guys remember the Bone postcard with Dragon? I have one.
Well, the stupid rat creatures are at Barbaric's wedding.
Yeah.
Are they?
They are.
That's
because at the time, Bone was published at Image.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they show up in that Gen 13 issue that Dragon's in too.
Yeah, they absolutely do, dude. I was literally what I was going to say. I know it's cheating, dude. I know that Youngblood was like had a shared universe anyway, but like I don't give a shit. Like that's what I want. So
And
if I was going to give,
you don't care.
yes, absolutely. If I was going to do 27 issues, if I was going to do 26 issues of him overseeing something, I would love to see him oversee some highbrow. I would love to see that interplay, and I think he'd do a really good job with Youngblood, and I think Daniel Warren Johnson would blow everyone's fucking tits off. And I think you'd love it. So, Jim, you're the last.
I've been asked Dragon this entire time because this is a very hard question for me.
Fost.
My first gut choice was Power Rangers.
Go with it, dude.
But I'm going to revise that and say Godzilla.
Gojira.
Nice.
Yes,
And
Erik Larson approved Godzilla comics. That's what
Godzilla-
I'm for.
Godzilla
Can the
attacking
Shogun
Chicago.
Warriors show up?
Yes. Well, no, they're owned by Marvel, so You have to come up with your own giant robot team to fight Godzilla.
Are we doing all Toho?
But think about, basically the entire Godzilla like lineup. But
all of Toho.
But like, imagine it, Erik Larson coming up with like stories about giant monsters fighting superheroes, and maybe like giant robots and stuff.
And remember, it's in the Highbrow universe as well.
Well, here's another cool tie-in. Erik loves Herb Trimpe, and Herb Trimpe did at least issue 1 of Godzilla for Marvel, if not more issues.
Nice.
Did he? I didn't know that. I didn't know he did the first issue or one issue.
I think he did more than the first issue. I think he did a bunch, but yeah.
That is a sweet drop. So we can Google it, I'm sure. Like,
Absolutely.
just do Herb Trimp Godzilla. Oh, dude, that is good.
And it would be fun to have Dragon sock Godzilla at least once, or Malcolm rather.
Or
Jim?
good.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think that's a better pick than you think. Because there's, like, to me, Martian shrink ray fun you can have.
Sure. Giant Osama.
Yes, dude. Craig, I didn't even think about that. That's fucking awesome. Giant Bin Laden versus Godzilla. Fucking A. Mauve Wolfman.
Big Mummy.
Oh, dude. Universal. I know.
The Groks. Right?
Yeah. There's all those creatures from the Earth that would make perfect little things to attack, like
the demonids.
And when they're like giant Craig,
sorry.
We're finishing each other's sandwiches, dude. That's exactly what I was going to say. They were giant demonoids. It's awesome.
All right, who's your creative team?
Yeah.
I don't have one. I don't think that far. That is too hard for me.
I'll say it for you, James Stocco.
Like Keith Giffen
yes.
and who did you just say?
I said Stocco.
Yeah, Stocco.
Which is a cheat because he did some Godzilla stuff.
He did the best Godzilla comics. You're right.
Yep. I'm a cheater. Ooh. Or Art Adams.
Yeah.
No, you can't get Art Adams to do interiors. Stop fantasizing. Gotta be realistic, man.
With these FINteresting answers.
Yes. Gotta live in the realm of reality or else.
You're right.
How is it a challenge if you don't work within limitations?
You're
Jeff
right.
Darrow.
You're right. Yeah. Oh, dude. Fucking A. Can you imagine like Jeff Darrow drawing like fucking just a demonoid, like just a Godzilla just blasting a big dick off a demonoid?
You just have to look at Rusty and Big Guy, basically. But
pretty much. Guys, I think that was meaty as hell. I loved it.
Yeah. So I want to hear what the listeners have to say. Please.
Yeah. Send us your answers to this FINteresting conversation to savagefincast@gmail.com. Of course, you can find us at savagefincast.com. Leave a comment on our any episode, or find us on YouTube, on our Savage FINcast YouTube channel.
So what time is it, guys?
With that, it's not meat and potatoes time just yet. We'll do a real quick quiz. That's okay. We had one last show, and I just had so much fun. I had to do another one. This time I have a proper tiebreaker. Don't worry. We will have a winner. We will have a loser. If I may grab a sheet of paper. Yeah, there we go. Oops, got to grab an ink pen. All right. You ready, fellers? You ready? You ready? One of you is going to win. One of you is going to lose. I call this quiz show. It's going to go real quick, okay?
What's at stake here?
I think the loser has to write a haiku about Maxine's fetishes.
No, it's okay. I pass.
Okay. Come on. You got to be a good sport.
I can't write a regular haiku.
Well, the loser has to write a poem about Maxine's fetishes. It doesn't have to be long. It could be like Hickory Dickory Dock. Maxine loves some cock. Like, that could be it. You're done. How's it sound? Do you accept these stakes, contestants?
I guess.
So the fact that you realize the fact that you don't want to do it makes it more appealing, right? All right, this is not a contest of speed, gentlemen. You do not need buzzers. I call this quiz Teenage Mutant Number Turtles. All you have to do I'm going to ask you a question, and you simply give me the number you think it is, and whoever is closest wins.
Wait, so repeat that one more time for me and the listener?
For you and the listener, here
really
it goes.
Just for me, because I wasn't listening.
That's okay. So, Teenage Mutant Number Turtles. Basically, I'm going to ask a question. You've got 10 seconds, and then I'm going to stop and ask both of you what your number is to respond to my question. And whoever's closer gets the point.
So it's not a thing where you buzz in first or anything like that?
Not speed.
Okay.
No speed needed.
Okay.
It's kind of like how last time you both got to just say it. We're limited to 10 seconds because I don't want you to be able to Google it, and I don't want you to be able to think too much. Okay?
I would never cheat.
And by the way, I don't expect you, before we go into this, listeners, I don't expect anyone to know these. This is just about a crazy question. And then it's also kind of a way to give you guys trivia in a fun way. And it's about whoever gets closest. So don't even worry about it. Just do your best. All right? You got it? You got it? All right. We ready? All right. Get ready. Question number 1. There's just 10 of them. It'll go real quick. How many episodes of the original 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show were there? You got 10 seconds to think of your answer.
187.
Whoever gets closest.
Is it like 187? Right, if you go over, you lose?
Yeah. Just wait. Just wait. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's whoever's closest.
All right.
187.
Thank you. All right. What's your guess, Craig?
240.
187 was way closer. There were 193. They aired between 1987 and 1996 across 10 seasons. Jim gets the point. All right, next question. Along those lines, how many episodes did the newest cartoon, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how many episodes did it last?
Wait,
got 10 seconds.
Was it canceled?
Yeah, it just did canceled, but not important. How many episodes?
It does matter because if there's more episodes coming.
Well, it canceled, so
I didn't realize it canceled. That sucks.
Yeah, well, factor it into your 10 seconds. Here goes. I'm just giving you 10 seconds to
39.
think. How many episodes did Rise of the Ninja Turtles last?
Are we supposed to answer for 10 seconds or as soon as we think of it?
You wait till after the 10 seconds.
Oh.
I'm giving you time to think. That 10 seconds is just so you can think.
Oh, I don't need 10 seconds. That's my problem.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this is not a contest of speed. That's okay. All right, we're done. 10 seconds are done. Jim says 39. Craig, how many do you say?
8.
Jim's probably cheating. He said 39 exactly, which is what it was.
All right, do you want to know how you come to that number?
Uh-huh.
I know the series hasn't lasted very long, so I assume 3 seasons, and there are 13 episodes to a typical modern-day cartoon series.
Amazingly, you were right, but wrong. There were 39 seasons. I mean, 39. There were 39 one-episode seasons. No, there were 39 episodes across 8. 2 seasons. You said 8. Yeah, that was the I don't even care.
I thought it was one season. I don't know.
Somebody wants to write a dirty poem is all I heard when I heard that. All right, next question. We're keeping it rolling, keeping it tight. How much did the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action film gross?
Gross.
The first one?
What was the final take home? The Jim Henson puppets. You got 10 seconds to think.
I don't even
This is the Jim Henson puppets. No, it's just a guess, dude. You're just guessing. How much did it gross?
Jim goes first on this one.
It doesn't even matter. All right, it has been 10 seconds. Jim, what do you think?
200 million.
All right. So, Craig, what do you think?
180 million.
All right. Jim is fucking cheating because it was 202 million. So Jim is fucking
Maybe I
cheating.
just know how.
I think I'm writing this fucking poem, ain't I?
Maybe I just know how much media costs.
I think you're a cheater.
I don't cheat about this. I'm an expert. I'm a scientist.
Maybe I just know how many cartoons there are in a season because I watch too many goddamn cartoons instead of doing real shit in the real world.
Yeah, pretty much.
So a fun little trivia fact, at $202 million, Ninja Turtles was the highest grossing independent film at that time. It was not surpassed until 1999 by the Blair Witch Project. It was the 9th highest grossing film.
It only cost like $30 million to make, right?
Yeah, very profitable. Yep, 30 mil in, 202 out. Very good. By contrast,
I read
our
about
next,
this shit all the time.
That's it. We'll see if you're a cheater. I think I'm going to make it 5 seconds. Because honestly, I think you're cheating. That was way too
Dude,
good.
did you not hear me like blurting the answers out as soon as you finish your questions?
I know. I still think you're a cheater. Okay, I'll do 10 seconds. Hold on. All right. Okay, so get ready. The next question. Along those lines, the most recent live-action Ninja Turtles movie, Out of the Shadows, how much did that gross worldwide?
Wait, is that the first one or the second one?
The most recent one, the second one. It's Out of the Shadows.
Is it an animated one?
It's a live
No,
action.
it's a live
one.
action Michael Bay produced one.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So
The second
that's been
one.
Yeah, the second one. That's been 10 seconds. Just guess. How much would you say that this latest Turtles movie made?
$230 million.
Okay.
I am going to go with my
And
first
Jim?
guess, $180 million.
This time Craig takes the point. It is $245.6 million.
Dumb
You
Michael
were-
Bay fucks.
You were really close.
But that movie
Interesting to
probably
see.
cost like $100 million to make, so it wasn't like a big success.
Much less profitable. You're correct. I think it was something like $180 million to make. So yeah, it did not do as good as the original live action. Moving right along, guys, get ready. This one's a little Savage Dragon related. If Savage Dragon and all 4 turtles were side by side, how many toes would there be in all?
Wait, say it again.
If Savage Dragon and Savage Dragon and all 4 turtles were side by side, how many toes would there be in all? You got 7 seconds. It's ticking away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Gentlemen, how many toes
10.
are on the ground?
10.
10. No, 20. Oh, Craig, you confused
Too
me.
late. Too late. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
You both.
I had the
know it.
answer, and you confused me, Craig, with your wrong answer.
Wait, what are you talking about? Why
It's-
did I confuse you?
It's 20 toes. It's 20. 20
Oh,
is the
shit.
answer.
You're right.
There's
You
2
got
feet.
legs.
10. Fun fact, Savage Dragon does actually predate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so he doesn't have Ninja Turtle feet. Savage Dragon turtles have Savage Dragon feet. Isn't that weird? Think about it. Just let that cook your noodle. No one got a point on that. I love it. All right. Because Jim got bamboozled by Craig's buffoonery. All right.
Because he's listening to what I have to say. See, it shows you. It shows that he's cheating.
Get ready. Can Jim cheat on this one? How many years did the Mirage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic run? You have 10 seconds.
Hold
How
on,
many
hold on. You're
years?
talking about all of them until like the Viacom buyout?
You know what?
Listen to this guy.
Yep, I don't care. Just what's your answer? Because it's for fun. 10 seconds. Go. This is the original Ninja Turtles. Mirage started it. When did it end? How many years?
Okay.
You don't know when did it end. All right. Let's just get your answers. Just get your thoughts. So, answers,
I'll
please.
say 18.
Number of years. 18?
18.
All right.
20.
And Jim? 20? All right. Turns out, according to my sources, it was 30, which puts Jim
Fucking A.
closer.
Wait,
30 years.
30 doesn't make any sense.
1984 to 2014. That's
still-
30 years. Yep, sorry.
This is
You got to live
bullshit.
with it.
Wait
You got to
a
live
minute.
with it.
Another
you're-
one of these. Here we go.
Nope,
Here
you're
we go.
nope, you're winning.
Fantastic,
They-
Raven. You just
but-
blew it again.
But
Nope.
the 30th anniversary book came out in... Holy fuck, what are all these
That's an
covers?
IDW.
2014?
Right, that came out in 2014.
Yeah, that's when it ended.
But that's not when the buyout happened. The IDW Ninja Turtle series have been going for like a couple of years by that point.
I'm going to dock you a point for being argumentative. So now you only
I
have
don't
3.
care.
You're writing that poem,
yeah, you
Jack.
do. You care. You care.
All right, you just lost a point. It's
All right.
3-1.
Now I'm going
Craig,
to
you're-
cheat because now I'm pissed.
Craig, you're back in it. Get ready. So, in the final year that the original 80s Turtle toy line was made, how many toys came out in that final year?
Final year?
Yep. You don't need the year. You just need to know how many toys came out.
Wait,
All right.
from Toy Biz, what year?
From
Now we're getting...
Doesn't
into
matter. From whoever made that final year of the original 80s toys. Like, there was a final year that the original 80s line ended. How many toys came out that year? Just guess a number.
8.
Okay.
My gut said
I
5.
think I said 8 for every answer.
Okay, and you said 5. Guess what? It was 9.
Oh.
So Craig gets a point. This just got a lot tighter. 2-3.
What's the score? 2-3 who?
2-3 Craig. Jim is in the lead. And the interesting little tidbit is that last year was the dinosaur turtles mentioned in the previous FINcast.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So get ready. Next question. How much did the turtles sell for to Nickelodeon? How much did
I don't know. I know
turtles?
Jim knows
It's
this.
just your guess. How much did the guess go for? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. Just guess a number. How much did it sell for?
180 million.
So Jim says 180. What do you say, Craig? Just guess. It's just
210.
210. All right. So you're both going to shit yourselves. Shockingly,
It was 90, wasn't it?
It was 60 million.
Oh, damn.
That's all they fucking got. It's crazy when we think
I
about
self-doubted myself.
video game company was just bought by Microsoft for $7.5 billion.
I was gonna say 20 million, and when Jim said that number, I was like, "Wow, I'm way too low, and I'm gonna look like an idiot." But
10 toes. All right, next question. We'll keep it rolling. This one's a little tricky, so I'm going to not just start the timer. I'm going to explain myself and make sure you understand. It's not really tricky, but all right. You got to include cameos, okay? Understand that when I say this next question, it is not simply turtles-based things. It's even if a turtle was in it, okay? So, including cameos, how many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video games are there?
fuck off with the video
Nice.
games.
Yeah.
You said
Sorry.
Master.
Did you say including cameos?
Yeah, that means Mortal Kombat counts.
Oh,
How
those
many
lists.
games? So across
That's
all
easy.
systems?
Yeah, just guess.
Oh, that's easy.
Just guess. All right, it has been
Guy.
10 seconds.
That's
Pencils
easy.
down. Give me an answer. Just a number. Just throw it out.
18.
How many? 18 says Craig.
18's a good guess. I'm going to say 15.
15.
Jim, you're on the money.
You are both wrong by 45 was what it was, but that puts Craig closest.
45?
Yeah, there were 45.
Well, I guess that wasn't easy. I guess I didn't think about, like...
Little bit of trivia, okay? The first game was on the NES in May 12th, 1989, showing up in the Famicom in Japan. Came out in June, not long after in America.
There's 4 NES games.
Right? The most recent game was released just last year in August.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Turtles, they're cranking out those games,
There's probably
man.
a bunch of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance
There's
ones I wasn't thinking
that-
of.
Jim, that's exactly
Do the
what
Tiger
it is,
Electronic games
Shame
count?
on you.
dude. Yeah, any kind of... Well, no, it's got to be games, like not Tiger. But so, no, we're not getting in that woods, but it doesn't matter. All right, it's all for fun. This game
What's
is
the
still
score?
very
What's
tight.
the score? What's the score?
Craig 3, Jim 4. Guys, we're closing in.
Tying it up. I'm tying
We're
it up
almost
right here.
done. All right,
Tying it
we're
up
almost
right
done. We're very close.
Tying it up.
I like how he
Tying
calls
it
these
up.
quick games.
Yeah, this is the last question.
as-
We're done. We're
Last
at the end.
question. I could tie it up. What if I tie it up?
I have
It's
a
not the last
tiebreaker.
question. This is
I have a
bullshit.
tiebreaker.
It's lies.
If you tie it up,
I am going to tie it up right here.
oh, right. So when you
Not
tie it
if.
up, I have a tiebreaker. All right.
Okay, just
So
making
get,
sure.
Get ready. Here we go. All right. Remembering that you still have 10 seconds, so no big deal. We don't have to get ready. How many in the final? Excuse me, not final. What the fuck am I talking about? How many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys were in the entire line that was started in the 80s?
Holy shit.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot. So, feel free to guess a big number here. But how many toys overall was the original 80s toy line composed of? And you got 3, 2...
Wait, the original 80s or from 80s till now? How many?
Not 80s till now.
The initial Playmates run.
The initial toy run. Yeah, the one that ended in dinosaurs. So, all right, pencils down. This is just a guess, folks. So, how many toys would you guess they had?
1,200.
All right, so that's 1,200 from Jim. Craig, how many would you say?
420.
420. Surprise, Craig. You did tie it up.
Motherfucker, I told you.
382 figures came out in all.
I told you.
Wow, there feel like a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, dude, goddamn, it was
This
nuts.
has got nothing to do with feelings.
As a little bit of a trivia, they actually apparently only didn't release 16.
I'm only an expert at comics and shows. Action figures are a mystery to me.
That's why this is Teenage Mutant Number Turtles, baby. But get ready for this tiebreaker. I think this is where it's going to go down. So, tiebreaker question, and this is for the championship here. This is for the pervy poem. How many levels were in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game, Turtles in Time?
Oh, man.
10 seconds, starting now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. Please give me your best guesses,
I got to go
gentlemen.
with 6.
Craig says 6. Jim, what do you say?
7.
With only 1 point difference, the winner is Jim. They
Bullshit.
had 10
How many
levels.
questions are you going to ask about video games with Mr. fucking genius video game guy next to me?
Hey, I thought it
Bullshit.
was 7. I was way off.
Why don't you ask some music fucking questions?
That's true.
Yeah,
Who composed a score to...
Yeah. So I guess Jim wins. Craig, you're writing that dirty poem.
Oh, to
All right,
clarify...
give me. Go ahead.
To
All
clarify,
right, let's clarify
To
this.
clarify my irrational anger about that
Uh-huh.
number of years Mirage question was the Ninja Turtle buyout by Viacom was actually in 2009.
Uh-huh.
But Lariat, of course, had the right to keep making Mirage Turtles for indefinitely, and the last one he released was in 2014, which was the 30th anniversary.
So as Mirage, as a Mirage-produced comic, like
Yes.
according to Wikipedia,
Yes.
that's why that 2014 made it 30 years.
You got me again, Raven.
Yup. Sorry, but you still came out smelling like roses, even though you fell in the shit. So
Yeah,
it's all
okay.
good.
Video
Craig,
games.
I'll expect that poem to be
60%
posted.
of my questions will be about video games.
Were they? Was that the number? You're very bad at numbers,
Yes.
apparently.
Yes.
Because it was not 60.
Yes. All right, I got your fucking poem right here.
All right. Oh,
You
no.
ready?
I don't want it.
You
I
ready?
don't want it
no,
right now.
I'm going to give it right here.
Give it.
Okay.
It's going to be the greatest haiku about Savage Dragon. What is it? What does it have to be? What's
It
the
has to
term?
be about
Maxine
Maxine's-
sexual exploits.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can I get a drum roll or something? Okay, here we go. Maxine likes green cock. State Fair zucchini, if you please. Dragon chowder blast.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm real bad at haikus. See, you're way more of an expert at haikus than me, Craig.
You know,
Thank you.
although you may have lost, it feels like ultimately you won.
Thank you.
That was.
I don't even know how many syllables that's supposed to be.
Can I just say
575, right?
575. Is that how it works?
a tear? You brought a tear to my eye. That was beautiful poetry.
There you go.
Wow.
I do commissions, haiku commissions. Just hit me up on Twitter.
I look forward to your burgeoning career as an erotic haikuist.
Well, it's not burgeoning. I've been one for a while under a fake name.
Can I be honest? That felt pro. That felt very pro.
Guys, I think we still got a lot to
I
cover.
think we're an hour into this. We haven't even talked about the issues yet.
Yeah, people love when we do that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Why don't we? Yeah, let's get into meat and potatoes because these are some urban legendy meat and potatoes, man. This is beefy, dude. Gary really fucking packed these fucking last 3 issues.
Let's
And
talk about
Frank-
the covers. I mean, so we're gonna do 24, 25, and 26 of Urban Legends, right?
But let's talk about
ahead.
all 3 covers, and then we'll just talk about the whole story as like one long thing.
Right. Sure.
I mean, these are all brand new covers
Yep.
because we've never had these issues as an Image comic before.
Right. And to me, the interesting thing is where Erik dropped off, then we start getting like other artists.
Yeah.
And I think they're still Larson-centric. Like you got Nikos doing a cover.
Nikos Koutsis, who's the colorist and
Yep.
also pencils a lot of his own stuff. But
Great cartoonist in his own right. You got Andy Kuhn regular contributor.
Did Freak Force Volume 2.
Yep.
Fire Breather, who's crossed over with Savage Dragon.
What's his character? It's
Fire Breather.
No. I'm talking about the guy in 250.
Carl Cosmic. That's not his character. That's Eric's. But
I know. I'm just saying I associate him with
also,
him.
Kuhn has been drawing the IDW Turtles for a while now.
You're right.
So he's got that going on with him too.
Right.
Yep.
But man, just awesome picks. I think it was cool.
Typical Kevin Eastman covers too.
Yeah, which I think he did a really good job. Specifically, man, Jim, it's a bad thing you can't see Dr. X. Kevin Eastman's rendition of Dr. X in his enhanced cyborg suit is pretty gnarly.
Nice.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to see any of these, unfortunately.
Google it because it's great.
What issue was that?
25's variant. Yeah. And then Who is Lady Shredder? Andy's Who is Lady Shredder cover is really good.
Yeah.
We also got a convention exclusive for a convention that Frank never got to go to because of COVID. So you get 2 Frank Fosco covers on 25.
You know what's special about that convention cover for 25?
Tell me, I don't know.
So it's an homage to Jeff Matsuda, who did the variant to the Image Comics Ninja Turtles #1.
Cool, man. I didn't know. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so since there was no convention, IDW dropped it on their website and it sold out in like minutes.
Well, hell yeah. It's a great cover. Like, Frank really fucking knocked it out of the park. Yeah, and then on the last one you got Andy pitching in, and I think it's cool because Kevin Eastman kind of he's just drawing his turtles again. Like, that's almost maybe...
It's like bringing them back to like their normal look, which
right?
Kind of closes out the series.
Yeah. So
that Kuhn cover on 26 is really good.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost a fire breather. It's almost a fire breather cover.
Yeah.
Very good, dude. So yeah, these covers are fucking great. They're fantastic. Really good. I mean, holy shit. Jump right in, Jim. Take us away on 24, man.
So we basically pick up a couple days after the birthday party ending of the last issue, and Leo is pretty sure that Lady Shredder has to be Karai.
Yeah,
who they've encountered before, who is of course I believe Shredder's daughter.
So she says,
as does Pimlico, of course.
Yep.
And so he knows that this location is a safe house that the Foot has controlled. Apparently, Raphael sold it while he was a Shredder, but Leo's pretty sure that this is where Karai is hiding. So
Donnie hacked some websites and figured out that it was sold, but to a shell corporation.
Yeah, and then there are ninjas on the roof, so that kind of seals that deal.
Yeah, the Foot. The Foot show up.
So Leo crashes in, but oh man, all right. So he finds Karai, but he finds Karai sitting next to a hospital bed where her daughter, Amai, is in a coma. She's brain dead. Right. There's no brain activity, so she's just been vegetable state. And this, of course, happened way back in Ninja Turtles Volume 1, according to this.
Issue 58, right?
So basically the reason why she's been out of the Foot is because she's been here caring for her brain-dead daughter.
Right.
And meanwhile, back in the Turtle base... Actually, this is back at... must be in
Casey
Jones'
Jones'
apartment because they have a television.
Right.
And Shadow is there. And apparently April is on Oprah hawking Mikey's book.
A Rose Among the Thorns, which will be brought up later.
But something weird's going on with Donnie. He's kind of gone into he's currently trying to go to the astral plane to find Splinter.
Correct.
Who is also kind of in a coma right now.
Yeah.
He's taken over by Chang, right?
Well, he's getting taken over by Chang. He's getting his life force drained out of him.
Yeah, which explains Splinter just would fucking fall over all the time in this series.
Yep.
And that's why he was had a fucking ghost sucking his life out.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, it's Donnie doing this because you usually think of Leo as the more spiritual one, but I guess Donnie's as close as the only one they got because Mikey ain't gonna do it.
Don't forget, Donnie in this whole series was trapped in the astral plane for a while when the cyborg took over his body. Remember, the cyborg kept saying Donnie's dead.
Oh, that makes
sense. It was really because he was stuck in the astral plane and the cyborg couldn't sense his life force.
Right.
So throughout this whole series, he's been kind of stuck there. So he's kind of an expert, I think, in it now too.
They're all scared of it anyway. None of them like it.
But Donnie's in the astral plane, and he finds Splinter, but he also finds that Chang has taken over Splinter's, basically controlling Splinter's astral form. So Donnie tries to punch him out of Splinter, but that doesn't work as well as he'd hope. But meanwhile, back in the real world, some of the nanomachines of his mechanical body get latched onto Shadow, and she can't get it off. So Dr. X here comes up with a quick solution to set off like an EMP burst.
Right.
Which disables all electronics in the entire block, including Dr. X's his own cybernetic suit, but also Donnie. In fact, it's
his little Ultram suit.
Yeah, his Ultram suit. Yeah. But Donnie's cyborg parts are also rendered inert and start to like fall off of him.
Right, and he's freaking out because he has believed that they were keeping him alive. He can't move.
Yeah, he thinks he might die.
Yeah, because the armor apparently is dying. So, but then we cut back to Karai and Leo, and Pimiko comes in. And okay, let's see if I can get this straight.
It's tricky, dude. These are densely packed moments.
Sorry, I'm trying to remind myself. Because Karai, I guess... Anyway, either of you make any sense of this?
Yeah.
Go for it, Craig. Jump in there. Because I struggle a little bit.
Pimiko or Karai, so basically, Pimiko is kind of like the bastard daughter of Shredder. And they reference Big Bang number 10. And this is kind of Karai just being like, you're just like your dad, pride, greed, rage. You have a lot to learn. And the warlord Komodo kind of jumps into the scene with Lady Shredder. So it's like, oh shit, Lady Shredder is totally different than, Karai or whoever.
Right.
And so they kind of go through the rundown on Pimiko and her origin, and basically it turns out her mother, Pimiko's mother, is a character called Headhunter, who I think only shows up in Big Bang number 10, the Kid Galahad issue. And in that issue, Kid Galahad is actually trying to track down Headhunter because Headhunter's been killing people as a bounty hunter. He's never seen Headhunter before, so he's like staking what he thinks is him out, and turns out he thinks Shredder is the headhunter, Oroko Saki, and so he busts through a window and he goes to like save the chick that Oroko Saki's with in bed.
But it's
and it turns out that he's busting the wrong guy. The headhunter is the woman that he's in bed with, and Oroko Saki escapes because Headhunter was actually sleeping with him to actually assassinate him. And so basically what they imply here is that in that night that's when Headhunter was impregnated with Oroko Saki's daughter, so who's Pimiko. So it's kind of crazy how it kind of points to Big Bang 10, which is, kind of an issue you didn't think twice about, and now it's got all these implications for this series.
Worth mentioning that, like, they make no bones. I mean, in Big Bang 10, it's like, dude, that's Oroko Saki. Like, you see the young turtles. They fish Galahad out of the sewers.
So Galahad runs away from Headhunter, I guess. And after he's caught by surprise, and he's brought up by, like, young turtles.
Like, they're like...
Or they're teenagers.
All right,
yeah, they're like little kids.
Figured out my confusion. Karai is not related to the Shredder. She is just a trained assassin who took over the Foot Clan in the Shredder role.
Right.
So at this point, we know Pimiko is. We know that Komodo took Pimiko because he wanted to mold her into one of his like assassins because he's got like Shredder's like bloodline and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, right. She's like would be basically, if he could get her under control, she'd be like a fucking super ninja.
Right.
Like Clan Komodo and like Shredder's blood like flowing through her veins, basically. So this confirms that she is Shredder's daughter right here.
Yes.
Like she's been saying all along. Like, yes, she is Shredder's daughter, confirmed.
Illegitimate kind of love, not even love child, because it was done during like a planned assassination attempt.
Right. Yeah. And her mom was going to get rid of her, but like fucking Komodo just kept her because he was like, yeah, she'll be useful.
Does it ever say what happened to Headhunter, or no? Doesn't even.
It doesn't go there other than just that she just disregarded Pimiko. She didn't want her.
Right, right.
And so Komodo kept her because he's like, well, hell yeah, dude. I'll take this ninja, you know?
So at this point, we know, Karai is there with her daughter on life support. We know Pimiko now is Shredder. Komodo, Warlord Komodo's back in the picture. But who the hell is this Lady Shredder? We still have no idea. She's standing side by side with Komodo.
Right, that's still the mystery, like, at this point. Like, what's funny is you learn Pimiko. Gary does a really smooth trick here where you learn Pimiko's history, but also, too, you're just basically, like, eliminating who Lady Shredder could be, like, just left and right.
Right.
Right. And she keeps saying, still haven't figured out who I am. So the turtles know who she is, apparently.
And then she does something very interesting. She morphs her hand into like a fucking hammer. And at that point, the truth is a little more revealed.
Oh, yeah. So she hits Mikey's little metal nub.
Leo.
I'm sorry, Leo's. And so he's in pain. And then her hammer turns to guns, right? Like almost like Super Patriot.
Well,
right, yeah.
Almost like a certain other turtle we've seen.
Right.
This entire time.
Right.
It's true. Her armor is in fact one of the cybernetic, whatever they're called, the
nano machines.
Nano
like
machine.
It's living metal. Yeah.
From all the way back in issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
The armor itself is what's actually in control here.
And it needed a host without a mind and without a will, so it kidnapped Lurch, Vanguard's Lurch,
which we saw in issue 14.
Yeah, Lurch went missing, right?
Right.
Yeah, so issue 14, Johnny Rayburn is fighting Donnie and like fries the shit out of Donnie, and then escapes back to outer space. Donnie's like half dead, and they don't know what to do. So Lurch kind of jumps forward because at this point they're hanging out with Vanguard and Roxanne and Lurch. And Lurch jumps forward. The cyborg who was attached to Donnie at the time and thought Donnie was dead because Donnie was trapped in the astral plane left Donnie's body to attach to a new host, which was Lurch. He attaches to Lurch, and Lurch turns into this kind of like cyborg thing with wings and flies away.
Right.
And then comes to find out, as the issues progress, Donnie's consciousness comes back, and now he's in his body with the robot armor, but the robot that was controlling him is now attached to Lurch. So he's got the cyborg suit, and he's got his own free mind. Meanwhile, the cyborg guy who was controlling Donnie is attached to Lurch and out of the picture.
Right.
And that's the last we kind of saw. So Donnie's got free will. Lurch is gone with the armor. We haven't seen him until now.
So the Shredder armor, the cyborg, and Lurch all standing there as a character. It's pretty cool.
And I think the Shredder armor is just the cyborg morphing into it, right?
Right.
Yep.
Just trying to be intimidating.
But at any rate.
And that cyborg is the same guy from issue 1 and 2 that merged with Donnie. So he worked for King Komodo in the beginning, and it was one King Komodo,
right? Because
Warlord Komodo's creations.
King Komodo was using them to try to acquire the turtles for his genetic research.
Right. Wants to understand mutagen.
He had that big lab, and the cyborg guys are one of his creations. And then, if you remember, I think it's issue 2 or 3. They're like, cut funding. Those guys are a bunch buffoons,
Right, yeah, they're like, they're losers anyway, let them die.
So, meanwhile, that cyborg guy still works for King Komodo, so it's all making sense now.
Yeah.
It's all coming together, dude. It's all tying up. I love it. It's so cool.
So, back in the apartment, Donnie's in a bad way. His suit is continuing to fall off of him because the armor is dead. And Dr. X is saying basically that the armor has actually hasn't been just keeping him alive; it's been preventing his body from healing.
Right.
And that, in fact, underneath the armor, there is like his shell has been growing back this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There's signs of that happening. But the armor, I guess, isn't as dead as we thought, because in the very end, it starts to come back to life and grab onto Dr. X. Dr. X.
Yeah, it's seeking hosts like crazy.
Yeah, it did initially try to latch onto Shadow. Well, that's why the EMP went off.
Tried to latch to Splinter, So, pretty much that's that for this issue. I know we're not really doing blow-by-blows, but, I'd just be remiss if I didn't say that Frank has some fucking absolutely hilarious turtle panels in here.
I want to mention, I'm actually quite impressed with how much this looks like the old series.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is just his style hasn't changed significantly since then, or if he was intentionally, making it look like it used to. But it hasn't missed a beat. It's the same look.
Yeah, he's emulating it like perfect. The panel where he's spitting out his spaghetti is fucking hilarious. The panel where he's like, "Who'd read a romance novel is written by someone who looked like me?" That is a funny, fucking hilarious turtle panel. So there's just some really funny panels in here. And Jim, we were picking on Frank's women a little bit. I'm gonna say I think that's an area where he didn't dial it back to the past. I think the women look better in this issue than probably they have in the whole series.
Oh, good point. Yeah. They don't look like boxes as much anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm saying look how good Karai looks this whole episode.
Yeah.
She's got Asian features and everything. It's really good. It's really I think that's one thing where he didn't matched his looks in the past. I think what's the daughter's name? Casey's daughter.
Shadow.
I think Shadow looks better too. Yeah, overall very awesome, sweet art, awesome fucking stories, crazy revelations, fucking wild. And hey baby, that's 24. I think we should jump right into 25.
Let's do it.
Jim, take it away.
Choom, choom, choom.
So
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, the lettering is very good. The lettering looks almost as good as a regular issue of Savage Dragon, or even back in the 90s Turtles. Whoever's doing this lettering is pretty good.
Adam Gozowski just shining, just better and better with each issue.
Oh yeah,
the colorist.
Colors are great, but it especially probably helps that this was drawn with color in mind, which is going to be a huge difference.
Yep. Bingo.
So yeah, this opens up in the hospital. Hold on.
Can I tell you one thing that I did notice? I mean, I guess let's
no,
do the
I
first
said
page.
hold on because there was noise.
Oh, sorry.
So if you want someone to say something, go ahead. Start now.
I was going to say, one thing I did notice, and you guys tell me if you notice it, is the pages seem a little shrunk.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, my issue the whole time, and the last issue didn't have that thing going on. But almost every page...
Yeah, there is a cropping issue here.
Yeah.
My digital copy has very large gutters. I think someone made an error.
The physical copy
weird.
Has them too, dude. And it is weird because, for instance, there's a good, half inch at the top and bottom of each page.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, this first page, that you can tell the top panel was supposed to be full bleed.
Yeah.
This is cropped wrong, and it appears to be issue wide. That is baffling.
Yeah. I will even go so far as to say that I think this first page would have worked better as a splash and was probably intended to be a splash.
Well, that's what Jim was just saying.
The top panel is supposed to be full bleed to the edges. It's supposed to be zoomed in.
Very weird. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was thinking it the whole time I was reading this episode or this issue.
If Frank Fosco, if you're listening, write in and tell us what happened there.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, this seems like a production error on the IDW side.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been. It's clearly drawn. Like here's the thing. This you want to know the telltale sign? I'll tell you what it is. It's word balloons. Like when your word balloons have like that much distance between them and the edge. Yeah. Somebody didn't quite. It was drawn with the original proportions in mind. Somebody didn't stretch these to the margins properly, because I'm sure Frank drew this like to fill a normal page.
Absolutely,
so.
yeah.
So at any rate, I'm glad
great.
you.
It's just noticeable.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Back to the issue, though. Lady Shredder blasting away with those sweet ass cyborg guns. And we get to see that old lady Karai is not just hasn't been sitting there.
She's not really an old lady. She's pretty young.
Yeah. She's not been sitting there becoming a withered hag.
Yeah, she's pissed because Lady Shredder is shooting bullets in her daughter's hospital room.
Right.
But it's revealed that, in fact, the body in the bed, the brain-dead body, has been lurched the entire time.
Twist-a-rooney, dude. Twist-a-rooney. I was like, what in the fuck? What? Because when she knocks off the head, it's her daughter under the Lady Shredder armor.
Right. So the nanosuit at some point decided it needed a real body instead of the Lurch body, and so it swapped with the brain-dead body.
Yeah, Lurch's
and
DNA.
then they drugged up Lurch.
Yeah, Lurch's DNA was a problem. It was building an immunity to the nanomachines.
Right. Because it's alien technology, so that makes sense.
Right. So she had to find a new host, and Amai was the perfect candidate because her body was alive, but her mind wasn't.
Which is a total mind F to Karai.
Yeah, Karai's not happy about this.
Seeing her daughter alive, but yet not her daughter.
Yeah, talking and everything. Think how fucked up that would be. It's a crazy plot twist, dude. That is one of the I was like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, it took me a second.
Of course, and Karai confronts Lady Shredder about it, and because because Lady Shredder has no memories of who she was, just stabs her in the stomach.
Yeah.
And slaps her in the face.
Well, it's funny because when the helmet first came off, I literally thought it was Lurch just fucking with her for a minute.
Right.
But, of course, again, it's not. So I just great writing, dude. Just great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going. The slap. Isn't that kind of insulting? Like she just gets slapped.
You got stabbed in the stomach. Now it's just insult.
Yeah.
Well, she's returning the slap I guess not. It was Pimiko that got slapped by Karai in the issue before, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's okay. I will say Frank did an awesome design on Lady Shredder. I think it's cool. I love the ski feet. The way the feet are blades. That's so cool. And he's really selling the shit out of Lurch. Like the way Lurch just kind of is like hunched over and stuff in that hospital gown. Oh, it's so good.
So it's pretty funny because they get out on the roof, Leo, Raph, and Pimiko, and Leo's having trouble because the cap on his hand got smashed by a hammer, but it's like more painful than usual. And they're having trouble getting it off because it got bent. So Lurch kind of morphs into like a hulking type character who looks a lot like, I forget his name, but he's a Vanguard bad guy who turns into an ally.
Oh, a Muck?
Muck, yeah. I think he looks a bit like a Muck except purple.
Yeah.
But anyway, they managed to get the cover off his hand, the cap off his hand, and it turns out he actually has fingers again.
He's got a little hand,
which I don't understand. How does that work?
Well,
is that the mutagen?
It's two things. It's not clearly explained here, but I think it's a combination of their mutagen and also reptiles' natural healing abilities.
And the funny thing is,
although turtles don't regenerate, but
here's the funny thing. The funny thing is that concept is explained in the fan comic. And not really explained here, and that's one of the. It's interesting you should bring that up because it's funny.
And for the listeners, you say fan comic. We're talking about the 2 issues
that we'll touch on.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about them later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them later. But that's funny. Like I'm glad you said that because Craig, that's one of the very first moments where I was like, "Whoa!" The parallels here between this and that It's very interesting. So yeah, he's growing his hand back, and the explanation Jim just gave is a little bit more explored in the fan comic. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So at any rate.
But so we head back to Mikey in the apartment, and Mikey has a huge cat. This cat is big.
It's a big fat boy.
But Splinter wakes up, but he's acting weird. He's trying to like run away and escape.
Mm-hmm.
Only it turns out it's not Splinter at all. It's Chang in Splinter's body.
We get to see Dr. X's sweet new
Yeah,
suit.
Dr.
I love
X,
when he opens that door.
Dr. X shows up. It turns out he's a giant mech suit now. And Chang has no prayer.
Can I just say that continuity-wise, it actually makes nothing but sense that he would redesign the armor that way, because the only reason the Ultron originally were in the torsos was so that they could have a rubber head to interact with people while they were disguised on Earth. Yeah. So the fact that they had him redesign his thing where he's like not trying to hide who he is, so he's just up in the head part, is great.
Yeah, it's a great design, actually.
It's a great touch. It's great. At any rate, keep going.
So yeah, Chang is stuck in Splinter's body, and he's desperate to get his own body back. So they have like an uneasy truce to have Chang lead them to where his body could be.
Right. Because they're still tethered. They have that astral chain. It's kind of like how the turtles were aware of each other and stuff. They still know.
Yeah. And then we go to this mysterious lab where we see Chang in a tube, and also Lady Shredder and Komodo are here.
Mm-hmm.
And Lady Shredder's talking about how Chang's mindless body is actually a perfect spare host body.
Right.
That the armor might need in the future. So so that's why it's in a tube on life support. It's just to keep these spare bodies around for future need.
Crazy back the tanks.
Yeah.
But we even have a little bit of a plot like an easy alliance here, because Komodo tells her, he's like, "Nah, man, remember these are my soldiers. These are going to be my soldiers. Don't you forget it."
And in fact, they have also grabbed Karai's body. She's also in a tank, I presume, getting healed for future usage.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the plan here is to create a cyborg army.
Right.
Cyborg army and also mutants, like a combo army. The idea is that Komodo is going to use this army to actually, I'm not even sure what he really wants to use them for. I guess take over the foot.
Yeah, this motherfucker's into all kinds of ill shit, if you think about it.
Yeah. And in fact, he's currently working to he's still looking to unlock the secrets of mutagen, which he's hoping to get out of one of his the larger mutated Komodo dragons that survived.
Not just anyone, though. It's his brother.
Oh, is it his brother?
No.
He says
His brother.
We're harvesting samples from my brother.
I don't think
because he shares his DNA.
Yeah, that's not literal.
Oh, is it not? All right.
No.
Well, I'm a dumbass,
it's because
guys.
he injected him with his own DNA.
Because he's a Komodo dragon mutant like him.
Okay. Sorry. I'm a stupid ass. Well, I told you this was really densely packed. I was getting dumbfounded.
Keyword is densely. Dense.
10 toes.
All right, so
Touche.
back in the apartment, Leo and Raph have shown up finally, and they are being reintroduced to Dr. X, who's got his new exosuit, which apparently is a combination of the Utrom technology and also the nanobots, which is why it looks the way it does. He's He's basically starting to use like a directed EMP blast to get the rest of the armor off of Don.
Mm-hmm.
So he hits him with one last blast, and most of the rest of the armor finally schleps off.
Mm-hmm.
Although Donnie still has a bit still in him, but that'll come out on its own. It's finally out. It's finally dead, and he is going to make a full recovery, I think.
Mm-hmm. We're starting to see we're moving towards that, sort of reboot of the reset of the Turtles, for the next series.
Yeah, we're closing this out.
Mm-hmm. You're feeling the finality, I think.
Although I find it very funny how Raph comments that Don is naked
because he doesn't have his belt.
He doesn't have his belt on.
Right. And then I'm sorry again, the panel of him being like, "How do I look?" It's so funny, dude. It's good. It's good. It also a nice touch of just the cat being so loving. Like, it's just good stuff. This is really good. I'm sorry. I know we're not really doing that with these turtles, but man, I just got to say, this is just really good.
I love Dr. X when his little like shield thing comes down.
Oh yeah, he's got the full armor face plating and all that.
It's badass.
Yeah, so Dr. X is going to stay behind and protect Shadow in the apartment, but so is Casey and April. And Pimiko apparently we've remembered that there are all these other ninja chicks out there, so she rounded them up and tied them all up, and dumped them here so that they can't.
Yeah, it kind of closes them out.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about where they are.
I find the little sound effects funny. It's like Frank just scribbled them kind of fast, like the click clack, and the word zip word and the fa-wump.
Well, there's a letterer on this issue. I'm not sure if Frank did these.
I think he did. I think it's part of the art.
Could be. I mean, it definitely looks different than the usual kind of digital sound effects you usually see.
If you look at like the ink lines and stuff, like on the fa-wump, they kind of go over the letters. It looks like it's drawn by Frank right into it.
Question, guys. Just, I don't know, throwing it out here. Do you think when Casey and April mention their new lawyer, who promises to get Casey's reward money back, which is kind of like funny little closure on that,
He's a real shark.
Well, do you think that is a reference to Daredevil?
Yeah, it's Matt Murdock. It's got to be.
It's got to be, right?
Although he says he's a real shark, so maybe it's Mako.
No, Mako is not a lawyer.
Yeah, it's got to be a Daredevil reference. I think they're just referring to the fact that Matt Murdock is a lawyer. Everyone knows the Matt Murdock. Everyone knows the Daredevil Turtle connection. If that was a Daredevil connection, I love how they put it in there. I think it's cool.
So they put Chang in Chang, who is in Splinter's body. They put Chang on a leash, and he races through the sewer, leading the turtles to Komodo's lab, which we will find about next issue.
Right.
I love when they do those like kind of contrasts with like the totally darked out, like blacked out turtles. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's really
silhouette.
Cool but they put just enough spotlight on like their front shells and their masks.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Pretty fun.
Yeah. Raphael still has got his black mask, so it doesn't really show.
I love it, dude. Yeah. It's so good. Guys, this was good. This was a good one. I'm still like, at this point, I'm like riding high. I'm really feeling this shit.
Then we get to the final issue. Big finale.
Mm-hmm,
this first page is holy fucking shit.
Yeah, dude. That's the one.
Should have been the cover.
Should have been the cover's
wasted
right.
on the cover. This is right where it needs to be.
That's good. That's a good one. I don't know what the plans really are or aren't, but I know Frank had mentioned that maybe there'd be a poster of this at some point. Who knows? But, man, it should be, because that is a fucking killer. I would even go so far as to say that could be an iconic Turtles image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, dude.
It is probably the single best image of the entire series, and that's saying a lot. Because there are a lot of really good images, a lot of good drawings in this series.
Yeah, a lot of good cartooning.
I would put it up there with like that cover with Donnie with the Casey mask on.
Yeah. You mean Raph?
I'm sorry, Raph. I keep doing that. It's okay.
You know what? This is funny that they are infiltrating, and I just laugh at some of the comedy because, so much for stealth mode. Hey, we're only the diversion. Like you would say that out loud, you know?
Hey, we're a diversion. Look over here.
Look at this diversion.
We're diverting you. Don't look over there. I'm punching you now.
Yeah.
Interlopers.
So, yeah.
Who says that?
Interlopers. People who are very proper in the way they speak. Professionals like Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we get a big fight scene in a warehouse. Chang is still leading them on, but during the fracas, Chang takes off his baby harness and runs off.
Gonna be honest, this issue seems a little scotched into the middle too. Unnecessarily.
Less so. The full bleed on the first page is correct, but the full bleed on the second page is not.
Right. I'm just saying I feel like you could have pushed this one further on out.
It's very strange. I don't know why this happened.
Yeah, be brave. Be brave, IDW. Push this on out to the edge.
Fix this in the trade.
Don't be scared. But nevertheless, sorry, keep going.
So we are in it now. So Komodo comes out with his Foot Ninja backup, and Pimiko picks a fight directly with Komodo, and they're gonna have it out. But then she gets ambushed by the other mutant Komodo dragon.
Wait, can I just roll? I just want to pay attention to one panel that's really cool on the page where she's about to. Well, I guess you're talking about now, but when she's facing Komodo and the turtles kind of run by him right into the ninjas.
Yeah,
right.
How cool is that with the blood splatter?
Oh yeah, fantastic! Like they're just crashing into those fucking ninjas.
Sorry.
Continue. Very good.
But the Komodo dragon, so Komodo orders the Komodo dragon to kill her, but he refuses. And the reason is that she was the one who found him wounded after his fight with Leonardo and nursed him back to health. And Komodo dragon, Warlord Komodo is frustrated that he won't obey him. And apparently, when the mutant Komodo dragon was injected with, Komodo dragon. Jesus, these names. King Komodo. When this Komodo dragon was injected with King Komodo's DNA, he actually managed to like get all of his inherited his mental abilities, like his mental ability to control lesser creatures.
Yeah, his mind control powers.
Yeah, his mind control powers over other beasts, and somehow he's become more powerful than King Komodo himself. And
King Komodo's was he could control lesser beasts.
Right.
So the implication here is that he became a lesser beast
to Komodo.
Yeah, to
the actual Komodo.
Right, he became superior to the original guy.
And so the original gets turned into an overly large Komodo dragon, but not a gigantic mutant one.
His primitive form. Hands. Yeah. Backwards hands, that's true. But, I love the faces on that page.
I love Warlord Komodo's face. It's so distinct.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of those Kirby type faces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he's got a potato head.
Yeah.
It's neat. I like it. It's good cartooning.
Agreed.
Who we got here? Donnie and Leo have found all the people in the tanks.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this antidote that Dr. X has whipped up that is supposed to kill all the nanomachines that are infecting all these people. So
I like that Frank takes the time to draw a French drain.
Oh, yeah. Is that what that's called? A French drain?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not
fancy.
I'm not a homeowner.
Yeah, I was gonna say fancy homeowner talk. Are you so just for us dumb fucks? You're talking about the one on the very splash page, the beginning where the turtles are in silhouette looking at the tubes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just curious. That's cool.
Little, I don't know if it's cool. I was just trying to be a wise ass about it. It's okay.
No, there's lots of nice touches in here, dude.
So apparently all these bodies are brain dead because apparently this process of killing the nanomachines is really painful. So Donnie is pretty stoked about that. They find Chang's body, and unfortunately, no, not unfortunately, Chang believes his body's dead, but Mikey is pretty sure that's not true. So he breaks it open, and the Chang body gets up, and of course, Splinter is inside it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, since so Chang and Splinter's body is going to fight Splinter and Chang's body, but notices immediately that he's got a problem because he transferred all of Splinter's life essence into his body. So Splinter is way stronger than Chang is currently. So Splinter whoops Chang's ass and does a mind meld to swap their bodies back. But it's not actually a swap because Chang is still lost in the astral plane.
Yeah, basically Splinter just gets his body back and Chang's stuck.
Yep.
Right.
Chang is lost in the astral plane forever, but Splinter gets back into his body.
quick aside, how crazy would it have been for both of them had they made out at that point? I mean, think about it. He was in his body, he was in his body, but they're just both like smooching away. It'd have been a crazy thing.
You got something wrong with you.
Not sure why either of them would be into that very much.
I'm just saying, plot twist.
I don't
They
know.
both
If
kiss
I-
because they think this will never happen again. How wild would that be? And they hate it. They don't like it.
I don't know if I.
Would you do that in that situation?
I can't imagine another person stealing my body that would make me feel that way, but maybe I would. Who knows?
I don't know if I was a giant rat and I found myself in a younger human body, I'd probably want to stay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, remember, though, guys, that Mirage Splinter was always a rat.
Oh, right.
It's
right,
not.
right.
It's not 80s
But
cartoon
wouldn't he want
Splinter.
to be a human?
No, because remember that Cartoon Splinter wanted to. That was the
That
thing.
was a passionate no.
Well, no, because here's the thing: is that what's funny is my brain went there too. I was like, wait a minute, why wouldn't he want to be a man? He always wanted that in the cartoon, and then I had to remember. I was like, oh, wait a minute, Mirage Splinter was always a rat, so being a rat is his normal state. So of course he's not going to want to
I
be a
don't know.
fucking dude.
I was thinking more like why doesn't he want to be younger?
Because he's Splinter, dude. He's honorable. He just wants to like get back in his own body and just be an old fucking man drinking tea with his sons.
I guess.
Plus, you have no guarantee Chang won't just like
Yeah,
pop in your head in the astral plane.
Also, I think Chang was going to die anyway because I think his body was dying.
Right.
Because I think he immediately dies, not because he.
Also,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying because he died. That's why Chang couldn't get back in his body because his body was dead.
Right.
comics.
Yeah. It's fun. It's all fun stuff. We're just nerding it up, guys. Just a couple of nerds dorking it away. Man, this Lady Shredder attack scene, she's just going for it, you know?
Chonk.
Mm-hmm. But, hey, them turtle boys don't cut her no slack.
Where have I heard that before?
I'm just saying I love this action. That's all. I think it's kind of cool that they are, having you get a Shredder fight. Like, think about like Gary pinned this to culminate in a Shredder fight, in a way.
Right.
Turtles versus Shredder, man. It's classic TMNT. But it's, also with a twist that it's not. I'm just saying, man, fucking awesome. Awesome writing. Loving it.
So the fight kind of stalemates. Lady Shredder decides she's going to unleash the cyborg army to kill these turtles, only to find out her cyborg army has already been killed.
Right.
So that sucks for her. So they wind up beating her by spraying the nanite antidote directly in her face. So she gets defeated with aerosol.
Yes.
By Dr. X's little concoction, right?
Dr. X made aerosol application of the antidote, and the panel of them standing around Lady Shredder just spraying her is so fucking funny. I love it. It's the funniest conclusion to a fight ever. Because, like, on the previous page, you've got them really having, like, classic, like, Shredder turtle action.
Yep.
Like, swords and bow staffs, and, like, then you flip it, and, like, dude, they just, like bug sprayer, like, psst. God, so funny. At any rate, Amai fucking hits the ground, and they just let her die. They're like,
Well, she was already
Yeah,
dead.
she was brain dead. So without the Split. Actually, okay, this is actually a weird scene because so Mikey is wondering if they need to put her back on life support, but Splinter makes the decision that no, let her die.
right? Yeah, Splinter's like, sometimes we must use euthanasia.
Yeah, Splinter
My sons.
Splinter really should have consulted with Karai about this.
Doctor Death.
Exactly.
He's not. You're not her guardian, Splinter. This is not your call to make.
I noticed
Kavokian.
her. Please do not resuscitate Tattoo, my sons. Yeah, Splinter making that call, dude.
But they do find Karai is still alive in her tube. But then they get surprised because Komodo and Pimiko walk up, and they're all confused. Why the heck is Komodo and Pimiko still teaming up? But it turns out this Komodo is the other Komodo dragon, has the ability to shapeshift between monster form and human form, or monster form and human form.
Right.
And we see that Pimiko has driven a sword directly through the original Komodo.
Right,
So he
dude.
is dead.
Fucking brutal, right? Just stabbed him in the head.
Solves that problem.
Yeah.
So-
no sequel for you.
They're gonna go.
Done.
They're gonna go back to Japan, and they're gonna take Karai with them to recover. And the plan is that they haven't decided whether to take on the Foot Clan or just run Komodo Industries and just make a ton of money.
Yeah, just get rich. It's kind of funny. Like, it really worked out for old Pimiko, huh?
Yeah.
To take care of that sewer creature that was later able to morph into King Komodo.
Yep. It all works out.
Yeah, really lucky. I think it's funny. Look, Leo looking at his like gimpy hand. It's a little bit bigger, but like shout outs to Adam for making it like it's green, but just a little like lighter green.
Right.
It's cool, dude. I don't know. Nice little touch. And I
because that Komodo, when they touch on it, he's the one that actually bit off Leo's hand too.
right. Yeah, Leo's like wanting some revenge for a second.
My favorite bit is when he morphs from Komodo dragon to human form. Donnie calls him a show off because they got to stay turtles.
Yeah.
So it all ends. They all go home in a limo. And the very final page, we see the turtles going to April's upstate farmhouse.
Right.
In Northampton.
Yeah, Northampton, wherever that. I guess that's north of the city.
It's Western Mass. I've been there.
Oh, it is in
a bunch of
Mass?
times.
Okay.
That's where the Eastman and Lard were from, right?
Well, that makes
Is
sense.
that it?
Drew their comic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, that helps it make sense. Gotta be honest, guys, did not see this coming, didn't think it was going to end this way, was very shocked, felt abrupt.
It is a very abrupt ending. However, it is very interesting that this panel, this panel in particular,
Oh, yeah.
ties into Volume 4. Because that's where this series starts.
Okay. I thought you were going a different way.
Yeah, no. The series.
There is another way.
Oh, there is.
But Series 4, but it ties into that too. But this specifically is supposed to dovetail this into Volume 4.
Nice,
Basically,
dude.
Is Volume 4 of them hiding out?
well, they're not hiding out. It's just that
hanging
they've been
out?
living up in that Northampton for a few years. They've been out of the city, and that's kind of where it all kind of leads out of. It is interesting though that, it's implied that because Leo and Donnie are healing, that Raph's eye is probably going to heal back too.
Sure.
Eventually, although it is not shown.
Right.
Although it is interesting to see that Donnie still has his steel shell.
Well, you want an incredibly subtle piece of storytelling is Raph's not wearing his headband.
That is true. He's not.
So you kind of got to assume that there's a reason for that. It's like, which again, we'll touch on later. But yeah, very subtle in this. Like,
He's got a crazy axe on his shell, too.
He sure
Yeah,
does.
I was going to ask you guys about that. Like, is there something to that I missed?
No, I think Raph just likes weapons.
Okay, yeah. And it's also a little fucked up. Mikey's cat has a dead rat. Don't you think?
I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's Mikey's cat. I'm pretty sure it's Master Splinter's cat.
Well, that makes it more fucked up.
Yeah.
You imagine if your cat had a little human hanging from its mouth? You'd shit.
I sure would.
Yeah,
So I think we should talk about this overall. How do you guys feel about the series?
I
Well, you
love
going to
it.
touch on this last page so that when we see it again?
We are touching
Yeah.
on it. We're touching on it right now, Craig. The touching
just
is
book-
happening.
I'll just say bookmark that last page in your mind, dear
There's
reader.
no point to talk about it now. We've got to get to it.
Yeah, no. Bookmark it, dear reader, this last page on issue 26 because, oh boy, it gonna matter later, right? But overall, Jim, dude, man, I love being a turtle. This shit made me feel like a kid. I loved it. I haven't been into turtles since I was a kid. I honest to goodness got out around the Super Nintendo era. After I remember Turtles Arcade, or no, the third movie. The third movie being where my Turtle Mania fell off.
Well, for a lot of people, that movie's real bad.
Right. But it's kind of funny because like there have been many other chances to get into Turtles, and I just didn't take them. So taking this Turtles ride with you guys was the first like major amount of Ninja Turtles like stuff that I had consumed in a long time. And man, I fucking loved it, dude. Gary and Frank knocked this out of the park.
Ninja Turtles are still cool. They've always been cool. Especially the comic version. The comic Turtles have always been great.
They were never not cool. It was me that was uncool.
Yeah, like I feel like it was a missed opportunity for me in the 90s. Like I have like a bunch of Turtle issues sporadic that I bought here and there, and back issues where I used, thought looked cool. I remember going to my shop and like just digging through the back issues, and they'd have like a few different ones. This is before the internet when you could just order whatever you wanted. You just got what was there,
Right.
Like, it was one shop, and I was like, oh, this looks cool, and I have a bunch of random issues, but I never bought them off the stand for some reason. And I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And I look back, I'm like, man, I would have really dug just collecting Turtles. I was kind of a Marvel zombie then.
Yeah.
So it was like,
so was I.
I'm just going to collect Marvel. But man, like after reading this, and even just the independent issues that I do have from back in the day, the Tundra issues, they're always like so much fun. Yeah. So I don't understand why I didn't collect them.
Same here. I just regret it. I really do. Like, I really wish that I had read the black and white issues as they released.
Yeah.
Because I would love to own them. Like, man, there was this stuff was good. I
think there might have been some stigma of it being like the cartoon then too, for like teenagers or something. Like, I don't know, like that's a sellout or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm reading Marvel, but I don't know. Like, I don't know, maybe because of the cartoon. Like, I don't know what it is.
So, before we get into the big last bit, we should talk about the 30th anniversary story. So, back a few years ago, I think in 2014, it was the 30th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles, and so IDW decided to do an anthology, which basically would represent the four major Ninja Turtles comics. The original Turtles, Turtles Adventures from Archie, Volume 3, Image Turtles, and finally Volume 4, Mirage Turtles. For what's relevant to and also the IDW Turtles. They also had a story. All right, so like all the major ones. So the Volume 3 Image stuff brought back Gary Carlson and Frank Fosco. This was the first time they had reunited to do Turtle stuff since the series had ended. And of course, they didn't have room to conclude the story, so what they did was they told kind of a Tales of story. Now, what's interesting is because this predates the Urban Legends revival by many years. The story written here doesn't seem to fit in anywhere because this story picks up Donnie is still a cyborg, but Mikey has written a second book, which absolutely had not happened at the end of Urban Legends that we just read.
Right.
But this story is intended to clean up at least one other plot thread. Back when the very first issue happened, there were 3 cyborgs that attacked the Turtles. And we've accounted for 2 of them. One bonded to Donnie. The other became Lady Shredder, although we wouldn't know that yet.
No, that's not true.
No?
The one that bonded with Donnie later on became Lady Shredder.
Did it?
Yeah, it explains that it escaped and started. It was just taking hosts
to Lurch.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
The other guys. I mean, it's not like we're trying to track like who survived or anything because it's kind of explained. Like they just kind of disappear. But the one guy that this book's about, like basically in the first or second issue, they totally destroy him.
Right.
Like, so you think he's destroyed. It's not like left hanging like where he is, and that's where you find out he really survived.
but barely, right?
Right.
Like, you know, like kind of. I think it's cool that Dr. X is in a very Krang-like apparatus in this. I think that was nice. I think
the
it's
little legs.
Yeah, just nothing but legs, which, you know, again, we didn't see him in any of the things. It's also, we get to see him in a doctor role, which when I very first read this, because as you said, Jim, in real time, this came out before the Urban Legends.
Yes.
So I read this without the knowledge. And so I didn't realize that Dr. X was literally an actual physician. So it's just kind of like this, it's going back to this for this FINcast was actually awesome because I actually had, even as short as this 7 pages is, I had a new appreciation for this backup.
Right.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought, is what I'm saying.
I see. Because you have
'Cause
context.
I didn't get as much out of it when I read it the first time as like reading it now. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right.
So this is the cyborg that they basically messed up, and then the head blew up and scarred Raphael, and then I guess the rest of his body escaped, and he regenerated a head or something. Turns out he was using the life force of a raccoon that it must have found in the sewers, and it's basically like a giant parasite on the raccoon.
Right.
And that's kind of how it ends. It's not really like it doesn't really close up anything. It's just a way to show some action on this little like anthology.
Yeah, and I got a good feeling that this is what led to Urban Legends happening, because this came out and then a couple years later they announced the Urban Legends.
I'm still surprised that Urban Legends happened. Like, I feel like there wasn't that much demand, really. Maybe I'm wrong. And you just never see these things happen. And so I just remember when we got the news, my mind was blown. And it really seemed to have gone by so fast, you know?
I mean,
now we're done.
it might have been a case. I mean, IDW has been reprinting Ninja Turtle comics for a long time. It's possible that they have simply run out of stuff to reprint, and this was in the hopper. So they figured if they're going to reprint this, they might as well finish it. And that's
we talked a little bit about it. It does make sense. I mean, probably a lot of people that are into Turtles now, where Turtles are kind of gaining back popularity more than the late 90s.
Yep.
Have never read these issues, and it's like, here, it's 23 issues done that you don't have to really pay for.
Right.
You just got to pay for the printing.
And the colors.
And then we can close it up, and so you can get new readers, old readers excited, and make a quick buck off of it and not really put much into it.
There's also the Walking Dead Deluxe factor, where they got to just basically slap colors on existing work. And it will be, by many readers, perceived as an upgrade.
Also new, because a lot of people didn't read the original.
Right.
Right, absolutely.
Right. So you get a low-cost series to put out.
Yep. All you got to do is pay your colorist.
And I don't think that... I think people are more open to it now than they were when it first came out. In terms of how shocking some of it is.
We're in a completely different world with Turtles, so absolutely. Yeah, I think it's... I do think it's... probably just, it was a smart move, man. I mean, finish this series, like, for fuck's sake. Take that low-hanging fruit. Like, if you've got this series here, finish it. So, very cool. And hey, guess what, IDW, if you're listening, if anyone who knows anyone at IDW is listening, I would also go back and double dip if you did it all black and white in a compendium.
Yeah.
I totally would. I would totally double dip for a black and white edition.
Especially the last 3 issues.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they didn't offer that. That would have been like easy money for like long time Ninja Turtle fans.
So just saying.
So we got one last thing to talk about. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this. It's just a very interesting oddity. So back in 2011 and 2012, a fan, I suppose, of the Volume 3 Ninja Turtles took it upon themselves to basically create an ending for this series. Now, what's interesting is their name, I believe, was Andrew Modine, who I know nothing about, and they teamed up with an artist named Arzenti Dubaskov.
You're doing it.
I'm pretty sure you
Dubakov.
butchered that name, but
It's Dubakov, yeah.
But they went, instead of just kind of like doing it themselves, they went the one step further to actually get input from Frank Fosco and Gary Carlson. They credit Fosco. Fosco apparently drew a couple pages, 3 or 4 pages for each issue.
Yeah, I think that some of it was like pinups. that
Yeah,
they
I
just
think I also
incorporated.
believe that may be the case. They might have been using existing pinups or commissions, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But they used Gary Carlson's notes. But also, former co-host and friend of the show, Adam Pruitt, apparently lettered these things.
Yeah,
So that's a funny thing.
very cool.
These are basically what I would call fanzines, because not only do they have these Volume 3 conclusion stories, they also have several like backups of varying quality of various Ninja Turtle related comics. But what we care about is the original, unofficial Volume 3 conclusion. The interesting thing is the way they go about the difference between this and the official one
Yeah,
is both significant and also not that different.
it's a very interesting read. Like, I recommend doing what we did, reading the official ending first that Gary and Frank did, and then when you go back and you read this, it's pretty wild. Like you said, like the ways that it verges and the way that it like is the same, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I will say that this is a bootleg and it was never for sale, so you're not going to find it at a comic shop or anything like that.
This
You've
is
gotta-
yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. It's pretty much digital only. I don't know if it ever actually got printed.
It might have been, but it's probably just among a small group of Turtle fans.
Yeah. So the major differences about this story and the main one, which there are many differences. I mean, like the way, okay, let me start over again one more time. The purpose of this fan conclusion is that, like, the purpose of it, I believe, is to bridge the gap between Volume 3 and Volume 4, because a lot of stuff that they reference in these issues ties into stuff that happened in Volume 4. See, these issues were made in 2011 and 2012, 10 years after Volume 4 had happened. Mm-hmm. So a lot of stuff they reference is stuff that would not have happened yet if these had come out back in, like, 2000.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, the main thing, like, the way Donnie gets his armor taken away is completely different. Basically,
Yeah, Baxter Stockman.
Yeah, his body rejects it, and he has to, like, get help from Baxter Stockman, who is also a cyborg in a machine body. That is going way back to the original Mirage run, where Baxter Stockman put his body in a machine. And basically, the Turtles defeated him, but Donnie found his disabled body and pinned it to a wall. So Baxter Stockman has been basically a brain in a machine, immobile for years. And that comes up in Volume 4, where Donnie has basically been holding him hostage. Or not hostage, just prisoner this entire time. So this series uses that to resolve the nanomachine plot.
Right. Yeah.
In a somewhat similar way to how Dr. X does it in Urban Legends.
Right.
Although Stockman doesn't get to keep his cool armor, because the nanites die pretty much as soon as he succeeds in saving Donnie.
There's a much lengthier effort to explain the connection between Shredder and, like, what's her name, Karai?
Yeah.
Like, much lengthier, and it's kind of cool.
Not Karai, you mean Lady Shredder?
Lady Shredder, right.
Yeah, Lady Shredder is Rokusaki's lover.
Right.
And so, well, not...
She's
Yeah,
a headhunter, dude.
she is
Headhunter.
actually... She's actually Headhunter, who in Urban Legends, Headhunter was just the mother of Pimlico.
Right. Right. Again, it's those weird parallels, right? It's like you're looking into a parallel dimension with this.
Yeah, so that Big Bang 10, they were actually really in love and she's not trying to assassinate him, which is weird because they also kind of explain that they had to fake it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that this fan-made issue on certain parts is very amateurish, like in terms of like the exposition. It takes about 16 pages of comic to explain the relationship between Lady Shredder and
They also
Oroku
squeeze in a whole
Saki.
bunch of references, like the stuff with the
worms.
worm clone of Orokusaki,
Which was like the New York, like issue 20 of the Turtles, I think.
Yeah, that was like a whole
Back
plot
to New
line.
York, Return to New York, which is like an awesome 3-issue miniseries. But yeah, it's very fanfic in terms of trying to cram a bunch of stuff in and trying to over-explain stuff. Like it
Big
just
time.
wouldn't work as a real like published comic.
But the shorthand is that Lady Shredder is actually Pimiko's mother.
Right. In this.
Yes. And so,
Which again is weird because it's like, again, amateurish where it's kind of shoehorned in too much,
yeah.
like out of nowhere.
And where this mostly shakes out is Pimiko is actually living with the turtles and training with the turtles, and Lady Shredder brings the foot to lay siege to the graveyard hideout.
Right.
And that's how the final conflict kind of happens. Oh, but we also get to find out what happened to Leatherhead after he got transported away, which is something we never get really resolved in the.
And we really don't need it, but
It is, well, it's kind of funny. I laugh because it's like there are several things in here where it's just like Frank and Gary's, their run was just like, nah, it's all good.
That is a perfect case of a fan fic that wants to
want to tie everything up.
All loose ends must be tied up.
Right.
And it gets too cumbersome. It's too much when you start reading it. It's like you understand why, as much as like a fan, you want to understand every aspect of everything and why something does something. You know what I mean? It's like the Star Wars fans, you have to go overboard and try to understand everything. There's a reason why, like, the real stuff isn't so overboard like that because it becomes cumbersome.
Yeah.
Right.
And in this story, Chang actually uses his tether to Splinter to lead the foot to the turtles, as opposed to Splinter, Chang and Splinter's body leading the turtles to the foot.
Right.
That's that. Yeah. So, that's the end of basically the first issue of this. Donnie, the main thing is that Donnie gets his armor like stripped off by Baxter Stockman, and you're supposed to think, oh no, Baxter Stockman has got his body back, and that is not how it's going to shake out. But yeah, the next issue kicks off basically with Donnie getting, basically we get an explanation for the healing factor thing that cropped up in Urban Legends.
Right.
It's a reptilian DNA coupled with mutagen. And it also ties into the fact that they're still young and growing. Apparently, this is something that's going to wear off, which is again a fan fiction way of explaining why this doesn't continue in later series when they're much older.
Right.
Something that really doesn't need to be explained. I know we're going a little bit too beat by beat on this because I really wanted to focus on what's different. But what really boils down to it is it does deviate significantly here. We get a Foot versus Turtles fight, and we get Pimiko versus what's her name, Lady Shredder,
Right.
and and we also get guest appearances by mutant worm shredders.
Yeah, dude,
Right.
that was when I was like,
weird.
From issue 21.
Woof.
yeah, I was like, okay,
too much going on here.
right,
Yeah.
a bridge too far.
Oh, and King Komodo comes back too, and
Right.
he's on the turtle side, so he starts ripping the shit out of shredders. Sorry, I'm flipping through trying to find what's relevant. So yeah, Lady Shredder and Pimiko fight, and it becomes this whole big tragedy where they both accidentally, well, they don't accidentally, but they both kill each other before, of course, finding out that their mother and daughter, and also that Lady Shredder's whole revenge plot is a lie because, of course, Orokusaki killed Amato Yoshi's wife and Amato Yoshi, and because Orokusaki was jealous, and so she's been fighting for the memory of basically an asshole.
Right, as you do.
And in the end, basically, everybody dies in violent fashion. Everyone except the turtles. But we
And
also find
Karai.
we
Karai
also
doesn't die.
well, Karai never really shows up.
That's true.
She's not in this
She kind of
story.
shows up right at the very end.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
at the very very end. She's
Out
not,
of nowhere.
she's not really tied into the story because the whole thing with her daughter isn't a part of the story.
Right.
What does happen though is we do get told, oh, Raphael had romantic feelings for Pimiko though.
Right.
And
And I'm
we-
like, well, okay.
And we learn this because he starts crying with two eyes.
Right.
Because his
yep.
eye has grown back.
Yep. Because their turtles are just healing up left and right in this. Yep. He whips off the bandana. He's got two cried eyes. I'm like, oh.
That's kind of a cool little touch.
I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And again, it's like Gary. It was funny, dude. Gary's definitely aware of this as he writes that because, like, the final splash page with the bandana off, it's like, you know what? Nice little nod. Bandana off.
And yes, we do get one scene with Karai, who's basically going back to Japan to take over.
Right.
Or rather, I guess she's in New York to take over because now the slate's been wiped clean.
Yep.
Of course, then we find out Mikey also had we find out that Leo had romantic feelings for a human as well, so it's kind of a funny joke between him and Raph because they're having a personal brother moment.
Yeah, I will say I love the dialogue about not usually getting sprung for humans. Just kind of cracks me up. That's kind of funny, actually. You know something that this fanfic did? Fanfic, how insulting. You know something that this fan comic did? I didn't pick up on that a rose among thorns was a Hortus reference.
That makes sense.
I feel so stupid.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
But the thing is this story makes it pretty clear is that Mikey wrote the book because he met Sarah and basically fell for her and wrote the book for her. But as we all know, Sarah is a giant flirt and a flake.
Right.
And so doesn't really what's the word I'm looking for? She doesn't really reciprocate the same feelings. And in fact just tells Mikey straight up, "Oh, I'm living with Dragon now."
Yeah. And he's like, God damn it.
Yeah. And
I think he likes me, and she just leaves. See ya.
And then Mikey's so pissed he destroys his typewriter.
Yeah.
His muse is gone.
Which is probably just the author's way of they wrote Hortus out and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's more...
And then stop Mikey's writing career.
Yeah, and stopped his. I was like, but I will say that, like I said, without this, I didn't draw the connection between Mikey writing a love novel because he was in love.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's so
I didn't either.
obvious once you look back at it. It's like, oh man. And again, I know this sounds
That's a
funny.
nice touch.
Yeah, I want to just give Gary props because again, it's like, dude, Gary's underrated as shit. And it's like, dude, that stuff was there. I just didn't pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It's good. This
ties in the series around Savage
sorry.
Dragon 7.
And then it kind of ends with one final beat where Leatherhead two final beats actually. Leatherhead shows up to send Mr. X back to the Utom homeworld via teleporter, but we also get a resolution to the whole what's his face mafia guy plot.
Right.
Remember him? He had that one last scene where he was going to go after his daughter one more time.
And that is one thing I did think it was funny that they completely ignored in the last 3 issues.
Yeah, they didn't have time to deal with this guy, but this issue does, where basically he just gets absolutely murdered by the foot. Karai's foot, as a part of her first move to take over New York.
Yeah.
To just kill this guy, resolve this plot.
Yeah, just tie that thread up. But then here's the ultimate. This is the ultimate. Dude, I would love to know the story about this splash page and the similarities it has to the actual final issue.
It's identical.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Not totally. He redrew the backgrounds and stuff, made them better.
Yeah. But I think this is a Fosco page. I'm pretty sure this is his pencils.
Yeah, it is.
And it's been inked over.
Yep.
Okay, so they inked over. So this is cool because this is how Frank always envisioned the end of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. That's cool.
And it is kind of interesting because the major, like you said, he redrew some of the backgrounds, and also Donatello doesn't have a metal shell in this.
Right.
And I think the cat was drawn differently. I think it was he may have redrawn the whole thing, but it is pretty much identical.
It's a big callback.
It's crazy that it is identical. But again, this is tying it into Volume 4 where it starts at the farm. They're going to go live on the farm for a few years. Get out of the city.
I have to. That's what I'm saying.
Unless Fosco
didn't draw it and is just doing a wink to to the guys.
I'm pretty sure the credits show that he drew this page. This is what 48, and that's page 48 and 49. Yeah,
so the inks are so heavy on top.
Oh yeah, whoever's inking this is blowing it up.
Well, if I may, can I just say that I felt after reading this and then rereading, I actually read this, then went back and read again the final 3 issues. Guys, I have to think that Gary and Frank are super aware of this, and we're throwing out little nods, little ones. Like when the turtles go in to see the tubes, the test tubes, like just tons of them. The one turtle's like, oh, dude, Baxter Stockman would love this. And I'm like... felt like a little bit of a nod.
They definitely were involved in these 2 issues. Gary wrote like notes for one of them,
right,
about the series, and obviously it says that he's.
I mean, here's my theory. I haven't spoken to Gary. I haven't checked anything. What I think probably happened was the Turtles fan community probably got Gary's like notes for like what his plans for the series were, and they based this off of that.
Right.
Which is why some of the beats are similar, but some of the stuff isn't.
Right. Thinking there's no way in hell they'll ever get to close it out.
Right.
And then
guys, what the fuck is this Archimedes thing? I don't know what I'm.
Oh yeah, that's not that is not that is a pinup. That is not part of this story. It's just in an awkward place. But the page before it with the Utrom homeworld, this whole page using Dr. X to basically be the guy to talk about Earth to the council is like crucial to like how the first series starts. Volume 4 starts, because one of the major plot points of that series is that the Utroms make first contact with Earth and open up travel to the galaxy with them.
That's right. You said that. That's right.
So this again is another case of,
it's like an epilogue for that.
This is another case of a fan trying to like dovetail all of this together.
Trying to sew it together. Okay.
Yeah, using this Dr. X to make that connection.
Okay, cool. That is kind of cool, but also I get why you don't really need it, but also kind of cool.
Yeah. That's probably one of the cooler like additional things. And then we get this really fucking sick Jim Lawson pinup with Lady Shredder and Pimlico fighting.
Agreed, dude. Agreed. Holy
I also think the Fosco pinup right after that is also sick.
Yeah.
Also agreed.
Which I think would have been a nice cover on the IDW series.
Yeah. If you kind of look at what's going on in the inking, it's a little hard to tell in black and white unless you look. They're like in spotlight. Yeah. And so they're coming at you into a spotlight. Oh, it's so cool, dude.
But it is nice, like you guys are saying, to see Jim Lawson drop Pimlico and see another, like his, I don't know, his style's so cool.
I've been a fan of his since I was reading Volume 4. He's got such a unique style. It's just so indie. I love it. It's so angular.
Yeah.
And he does these crazy things with like ink washes and like hatchings, and it's just so unique.
Yeah, man.
It's
this
very
really
cartoony,
is
like a animation almost looks like,
Yeah, Bruce Timmish, but not.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's Ninja Turtles. That is all she wrote. We did it all.
Wow. Holy shit, guys. Can I just say, it was a joy and a pleasure. The extra, ingredients that you guys threw on this pizza of the Big Bang, number 10, the 2 fan comics, to me as a reader, a first-time reader, that shit is stuff that I never would have come across on my own. Never. And so I really appreciate you guys bringing that to the table, because it super enriched and made this whole reading thing an 11.
I want to say, for listeners, if you can't find this fan-made comic, send us an email or PM us or find us on the internet somehow.
Google it.
I'll send you a link if you can't find it.
Very cool, though. I mean, holy shit, dudes. What a great ride. And honestly, this is a series that I really enjoyed, and I fucking loved this rereading. Or I love this reading of it, and all the little extra insights and nudge and wink winks and just shit that you guys showed me that I never would have found on my own. So thank you, dudes. I super appreciate it.
So
yeah, it was fun.
yeah, it's just great to read another, like, if not a Larson pen series, but a Larson adjacent series. It's just kind of cool to have.
Yeah, it's just a nice thing. I think any Savage Dragon fan would appreciate this.
It's unique. You don't see that much either, this kind of comic either. So we're getting a chance to play, read about the turtles, but yet at the same time, it's in the Savage Dragon universe. Like, what other examples are there of that kind of a deal? You know what I mean? Where you're getting a tried and true kind of series seen through another set of eyes.
Yeah.
I honestly can't think
of a
of
property
any.
like that. It's fun,
Such a unique situation.
right?
So I guess we should start thinking about next time. Astute listeners may have noticed that this is episode 99. And as we all know, after 99 comes episode 100. So we've got plans to make episode 100 kind of a special deal. We probably will not be reviewing any issues on it. Instead, we're probably going to be reviewing ourselves, if you will. We'll be talking.
I give myself an A+.
C- at best.
I mean, I'm a solid B.5.
Yeah, I think you're pushing it a little bit, but
B.
But we are planning to have some special guests. Ghosts, what I would say, ghosts of FINcast past from the future.
huh?
The host ghosts. The host
The
ghosts of
most-
FINcast lore.
But that is for next time. And then, of course, we'll be back for episode 101, where we will, of course, be reviewing Savage Dragon 253.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, those meat and potatoes. I can taste them already.
And then hopefully we'll get back into the groove of doing more retro reviews. Now that these turtle episodes are out of the way, we'll be able to fit in a lot more retro reviews going forward.
Yeah,
we're going to get into fucking Freak Force. Get that into that.
I'm
Yeah.
stoked for Freak Force. I think that for you guys, I don't know. I think you were saying that you hadn't read them, or it's
I
been
had
a
not.
while. I think it's going to be like another Turtles.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
going to be fun. I think I haven't read them forever. It's got to be over 10 years. And so I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of things that connect with Dragon, of course, and things going on during that time. There's a lot of interaction with the other parts of the Image universe, I think. I know Cyberforce shows up. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of stuff that was covered in Freak Force that's important to Savage Dragon that wasn't in Savage Dragon just because of how much story there was. So,
I'm really interested to figure out what the deal is with Dr. Navrania.
Yeah.
Because-
yeah, that's true. They flesh out a lot in Freak Force that's not really covered in Savage Dragon.
And there's a name that you guys mentioned, have been mentioning over the years.
Savannah, Dr. Savannah.
If it's Freak Force exclusive character, and I don't know him, and I can't wait to learn him.
Oh, Joey? Oh, yeah, Joey. Joey's
Oh, right.
Joey's pretty great.
Yep, don't know him. Don't know him at all. Still.
We get much more Johnny Redbeard and creator backstory
I
stuff.
mean, you've met Joey. He's been in a couple of backups at this point.
But Jim, it's kind of like seeing the Dr. X in the 7 pages. It's like
Yeah.
I recognize that this is a thing, but it's not ringing true.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I can't wait. I'm excited as shit, dude. FINcast, man, listen. We got, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but we got so much good shit coming down the pipes. Holy cow.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. I'm getting real hundredy here. I was about to say, who would have thought that they could keep it going on one comic so long?
I know, right? You're gonna be-
Next month, when our 100th episode drops, and it's 100 of our regular FINcasts, if you count all of our retro and little things, we're over that. But also next month in November, because it's October now, we hit 9 years doing this. So, which seems crazy to me.
Might be time to
doesn't feel that long.
Might be time to finally get that FINcast tattoo.
I'm good, thanks.
You don't got one?
Uh-oh.
I hate tattoos. I hate them. I hate them, Raven. I hate them.
Even tramp stamps?
We are now down to 2 listeners.
I
I know.
especially hate tramp stamps.
He hates tramp stamps the most.
Not the most, just the most.
More than face tattoos or less?
Oh, face tattoos. Face tattoos are at least ironically funny.
It's... I don't know. You gotta...
Like that guy who did like all the leopard spots on his head.
It takes a lot to make a face tattoo awesome. I don't know why. I love tattoos, but...
It just looks like someone scribbled on your face while you were sleeping.
Not to be too serious about this, but honestly, all tattoos look like someone just scribbled on you. They look like bruises. I hate them.
Oh, that's a bad take. Savage bad take.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on.
Yep, we're done. We're in the weeds. Guys, listen, thank you so much for talking turtles with me. It has really been a joy. I really appreciate it.
It's a good time, man. I'm just sad it's done. Maybe
Yeah, me
we'll
too.
get something more down the line, but who knows?
Gary, Frank,
Bittersweet.
Adam,
I think we.
all of them. Like,
Yep.
thank you guys for turtles. Like, it was a fucking great ride.
I think we should end on that note.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.